Mm-hmm. Good morning, everyone. It is 8:36. It's Tuesday. That means a couple of things. 1, Taco Tuesday. 2, Dr. Chop is in.
Chapo Taco.
Chapo Taco. Could that be a thing, Dr. Choppa?
Of course it could be a thing. Chapa Taco, I like it.
Choppa Talk. So let us know. Start asking questions right now. If you have any questions for Dr. Choppa that have to do with health, that have to do with your body, there's a detox that will be beginning like this
On
week. You're going to be
Monday.
able
to pick up your stuff so that way you can start detoxing.
That's right.
Why should somebody be detoxing?
Oh, my goodness. The detox is one of my favorite things to do with people. And when people come into my office and they've never done a detox, they have misconceptions about what detox.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that, they're going to be in the bathroom. They think they're going to be, exhausted, tired. They think they're going to have headaches and migraines. And that does happen at times. But that also, it's the test and the remedy. That's what the program's designed to do. And people find that once they get through about the first 4 days, they find more energy, more mental clarity. They find their skin is clear, their eyes are clear. They feel like this new resolve, like to tackle things that they've been wanting to tackle. They just didn't have the mental fortitude to go after. And so the detox opens up a realm of possibilities. It's 3 months worth of work packed into 3 weeks, and so it launches you into a different space, and it also teaches you how to be controlling of the foods that you're putting into your body day in and day out. And that is really cool because we need a level of self-awareness whenever it comes to our food.
I agree. And speaking of food, Curt brought something into the studio. He brought a couple. I believe there's one for each of us, but everybody hold up what you got. So this is what Curt brought us, and it's an apple, right?
It appears to be an apple.
It's an apple, and
It's cold even.
it's very cold, and
It was
it's
in my refrigerator.
nice and moist.
That's how I like my apples. I like
Cold.
my apples
Crisp.
cold, and I like water on them. Like I need to run them
You want 'em
underneath the
sweating.
faucet. Yeah.
But what are you trying to wash off all the pesticides, or are you just trying to freshen it up?
Freshen it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the
Needs a little bath.
yeah, it needs a little bath before we put it in. I do that for my grapes as well. Like I just
Yeah.
can't eat a grape.
Why
By the way-
do people do that, though? Is that to wash off, the pesticides
Yeah.
or potential dirt or
Absolutely.
anything else?
Oh, I mean,
does that even work, though?
I mean, yeah, and it does. There's lots of different, protocols to go about washing the pesticides and the herbicides off the top of the fruit or consumption. Now, with a grape, however, the skin and maybe even with apples, it's so thin that it's still inside.
It soaks
right?
in
I mean,
there.
and remember,
Yeah.
it's just like us. Like what you see on the outside is a mirror image of what's on the inside, and so this apple, if it is organic, it was raised organic. If it was raised commercially, then it's it's going to potentially have whatever they've been spraying on
Yeah.
it, and it absorbs in. But it's better, right? I mean, it's fresh fruit. I mean, it's fresh food, and food is medicine, and it needs to at some point in time have grown, walked, swam, or flew. And if it does all those things, then it's worthy of a label of food.
Hey, is it better to eat something like this? Let's say this isn't organic, and it was sprayed with all the pesticides, herbicides, and everything else. Is it better to eat something like this than maybe sugary cereal?
All day long.
Okay.
I mean, your body has seen this, right?
Right.
So your body can at least be, hey, I've seen this before. I can process this, and your liver should be efficient enough to filter this out, or and flush it through the kidneys and flush it through the bowels and mobilize things. But again, this is when detox becomes a powerful tool. If you find that food is not your medicine and foods are messing you up, this is where we come in. We want to teach you which foods are healthy foods, what redefined food possibly, depending on where you're at on your health journey, and get in there and really start opening up the your realm of possibilities, not just apples, but an array of fresh fruits and vegetables.
So we have an apple in front of us. Do you think that you can, or are there people out there who can, by touching, by tasting or smelling, just feeling and holding it around, can tell if this is an organic apple, can tell what kind of apple this is?
I mean, possibly. We'll find out in a moment. I mean, 'cause I've bit into some really, disgusting apples before. So
That's true.
But I mean, at the same time, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, It feels pretty good.
We got 2 seconds. You want to go on the FM right now?
Yeah.
Or Kurt, I feel like you have something to say.
No, I'm fine. I can wait. We can go on. 2 seconds.
Well, now we have 15 because I played another spot.
Oh, man.
If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this out. We have some apples. We're also going to be talking detox.
I got a surprise for
And
Dr. Chapa.
Maybe talking some retox.
Retox.
I
We'll see
feel
what
like
happens.
I'm about to get retox with this apple.
Here we go.
Nasabe.
Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 8:42 a.m. and we have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio because it's Tuesday and it's Taco Tuesday. But it's Chapo Tuesday. What'd you call it? Chapo Taco Tuesday?
Chapo Taco. And so if you have a health question, if you wanna get your answers asked, you can do so in the comments below. You can also text us at 346-704-1806. We'll get those health questions answered. You know, it's always better to ask your questions today on today's show because you can spend hundreds and thousands of dollars at the doctor's office.
Millions.
Otherwise, you can ask the expert,
Millions.
Dr. Chapa.
Maybe even billions. Hey, shout out to Texas Chronicles keeping my drink cold today. Texas Chronicles, History, Mystery, and Adventure. I just thought of it because I had my koozie. But Dr. Chapa's in studio. We were talking about something that has to do with food, and we're talking about apples. Can you kind of like bring us up to speed?
So we have some apples here. I went to the grocery store the other day, and I saw these apples, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are awesome. They look like an apple.
It's red.
On the inside, they're not really an apple. Or are they an apple?
I don't know. I'm nervous. The more you talk, the more I'm.
Just touch it. I mean, smell it, feel it. What's it smell like?
It's got a little, like a flowery.
It smells like Kurt sprayed it with like Febreze or something. Like he was maybe here's what happened.
Wait a second.
Maybe he sprayed
Don't
it with
even go
Febreze.
there. It does have like a.
Does that smell like an organic apple? Is that the way an apple's supposed to smell? It's a little different. What do y'all think? Can y'all tell by looking at this? If you're watching on Facebook, is this an organic apple?
Yeah, I would say it's an organic apple. I mean, if you're telling me it's an organic apple, but it does
what if
have
there's
a
Skittles
smell.
inside of it?
If there's Skittles inside of it, I'm going to be very excited.
When was the last time you had Skittles, Dr. Chapa?
Man, I can tell you it has been several Halloweens ago, probably about 7. I was at my mom's, and my kid and I were out trick-or-treating on bikes, and I got one of those little fun packs of Skittles. And
Taste the rainbow.
I tasted the rainbow, yeah.
Those commercials
but
are
it was
ridiculous.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Taste the rainbow and whisper.
So Dr. Chapa's in studio. We have some apples. Kurt brought them, which is kind of alarming in itself. It was wet whenever he delivered it, but now it's still kind of cold. But how are we going to do
They've
this?
been sitting in the refrigerator all weekend.
So we're just gonna bite into it and see if then I'm gonna tell you if I think it's an organic apple.
Let's wait till 9 o'clock. I think we need some time to just like
Build
touch
this
it,
up,
feel it, and see what's going on.
Bond with my apple.
What does it smell like to you, Gardy?
It smells like something that you would spray on your body if you smelled funny.
Body care product.
Yeah, it smells like I would maybe get this like a refresher from Bath and Body Works, right?
Yeah. There you go.
What does it smell like to you?
To me, it smells kind of fruity. Like
It doesn't
like
smell like an apple to me, though. I mean, it's weird. It looks like an apple, but it definitely has an aroma.
It does.
I will tell you that this apple, I believe, is detox friendly.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
But again, you're talking to the guy who eats sneaks in the mac and cheese during the detox.
Oh, this is true. That's right. So, for you, it might be detox friendly and an upgrade, but for the rest of us, we might be finding that we're about to get a dose of herbicide and pesticide, which explains why we need to be detoxing. So, on June 3rd, that is Monday. We are launching our summer detox program for June, and we're really excited. We've got a bunch of people lined up. We're going to have our Facebook group rocking and rolling. Ashley's going to post that in the field below, so make sure that you get all the details at our Facebook group, that if you're interested in detox and want to be a part of our Facebook group, because this is a tribe of people going through a detox process to help you go to maximize an experience. And if you're not detoxing in the 21st century, I can assure you you're missing a huge piece of your healthcare plan. The liver constantly needs love and support. The kidneys need work, and the digestive tract needs to be cleaned. And so at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we pride ourselves on never asking you to do anything that we're not willing to do. And I've done about 39 detoxes, 21 days, fruits and vegetables, and it is an amazing journey for me to learn detox and to watch people go through detoxes and to see people that have had symptom patterns that they weren't genetically born with. I mean, everything from, cervical cancers, where this whole thing really began. A friend of mine was diagnosed with cervical cancer and was told that she needed a hysterectomy and would never have kids. I mean, she was 23, I think, and we were up in Dallas and talking to the head team physician for the Kansas City Chiefs, Evan Mladenoff, and he goes, don't do a hysterectomy. I mean, do this. So he helped us build a detox, and bam, here we are. 21 days later, she still has her uterus. Almost 13 years later, she's got 4 wonderful, beautiful, organic babies, and she's a healthy mom.
I've never heard of an organic baby.
No pesticides,
no
herbicides.
pesticides or herbicides.
Right. So it's
Wow.
it's pretty exciting. So there's the proof's in the pudding. Like we've done this detox so many times, and I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the liver's the giver. I mean, we talked about it in school. If you cut out 3/4 of your liver, it'll grow back. 80% of your liver can be destroyed and never show up on a blood panel. That's how efficient it is. So why wouldn't we love on it, tenderize it, make it healthy and whole, so that it's more effective in detoxing us in a world that is laden with chemicals and pollutants?
Is it about the liver? Do you have something to say about the liver?
I was just going to say, Jackie said here, I definitely need a detox after the past weekend. I do too, Dr. Chapa. My liver is probably, destroyed after all the hot dogs that I ate.
Were you in the hot dog competition?
I might have been the Nathan.
His own.
My
personal.
own personal hot dog. I went to Texas City, the Texas City Dike, and I was, just talking to people, and they're like, "Hey, you want a hot dog?" And I was
Slamming
like,
dogs.
"Yeah." And they're like, "You want another hot dog?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Do you want a Coca-Cola?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "Do you want another hot dog?" And I was like, "Yeah." So,
I mean, that's
it just
what
kept
happens.
going.
I mean, you just
couldn't stop.
Yeah, you just can't say no. And so, yeah, if you had a big, crazy, busy Memorial Day weekend and you, had a few hot dogs too many, detox is here. I mean, this is what it's about. And I will tell you that when we went up to North Carolina, we went to the research and development facility for Standard Process, and we're sitting in, a room of, 500 doctors, and we've got these PhDs just pouring into us for a weekend. And it was amazing. Like, I walked out of there and I'm like, people don't need to detox twice here. They need to detox every quarter, but we have a detox for you no matter where you're at in the process. If you're new to detox, this is what Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center is here to do. So give us a call, 281-554-8600. We have 7-day programs, 10-day programs, 14-day programs, all the way up to 21 days for the ultimate experience. And so make sure that you join forces with us and get onto that Facebook group. I believe it's Live Well Detox 2019. And but again, Ashley will post it in the comments below, or if you're on the radio, 281-554-8600, and you can check us out there for details and whatnot. So, we're just excited. So, I mean, we're getting a little bit closer. I'm just eyeballing this.
We got an apple.
And
Curt brought apples.
wondering what kind of bile flow will I get as I sink my teeth into it.
Dr. Chapa,
these are good for bile flow, by the way.
Does your apple look a little bit different than mine? I feel like it does.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it's truly organic, wouldn't that be what we want? I mean,
you
yours
would
has
think.
interesting
Look at
striations.
Yeah, look at Kurt's. My apple and Kurt's apple look really similar, and your apple looks a little bit different. I don't know if you realize that.
Maybe there's a.
Did you
part peach?
The other thing that you're well,
Is that possible?
I don't know.
Yeah,
hybrid.
yours is
hybrid.
I felt yours as I was putting it over there, and I was like, "Huh, this feels like peach."
I want to smell y'all's apple.
That sounds a little.
Clarify.
Here's my hand. What do you want to
clarification? I meant to say I want to smell your apple.
So it's 8:50 right now.
Choppa getting personal.
This
over
is 99.5 FM. Kurt brought in some apples, and we're taste testing them with Dr. Choppa to see if we can find out if these are organic, find out exactly what's going on with these, if there's any herbicides, pesticides, what is inside the apple. Could be filled with Skittles. We'll find out.
Gardy, yours and I are a little different because I have the stem on the top. You don't. Do you guys remember as a little kid when you would get the apple and then you would twist it and then you would say A, B, C, and whatever letter it landed on, that was the girl that you were supposed to be with.
Well,
like the letter.
I'm going to be with the letter G for Gardy. That's
yeah,
me.
it'd be like A, B, C.
Kurt, I know what you're talking about. But I remember Coke cans as well.
I don't know anybody with the name of F.
Okay.
Everyone who, like, if you had a Z or like a W name, you were just out of it because there's no way those
we have in our homeschool community. We have a young lady named Zuriel.
But
Cool name.
her name's not ever going to get called because it's not everyone who has
That's right. Yeah, because sooner or later it'll break.
Right, you're
Yeah.
never getting to Z. That's 26 turns.
Oh, it's a bummer. Diamond into the rough. Diamond into the rough. All right, so yeah, guys, if you are interested in detox, living well detox, what detox is, and what it isn't. It isn't a diarrhea cleanse. It is a reset. It's a liver, digestive, kidney reset, and it allows all your exit channels to convert through a process called cytochrome 4. Oh my goodness.
You got this, Dr. Chapa. You can do it.
Cytochrome P450 system, enzyme systems. I must have had a long weekend too. And what it does is it converts fat-soluble compounds into water-soluble compounds via your organ tissues, and you can then excrete them into something that we can sweat out, pee out, breathe out, and poop out. And that's the healthy form of detox. And your body is detoxing every day. The whole purpose of the detox is to give your body 21 days of a break from artificial ingredients, from stimulants, processed food, and give your body time to rest and recover. We want to put you in a parasympathetic, healing, rest and digest state so that your body can be healthier, stronger, and more vibrant. And so activating these systems to do this type of detox is what our program is all about. And it allows the body to get rid of the things that it doesn't need and allows the body to also regenerate because you're not putting in things that you don't need. So, like, what you eat's important, but
What you don't eat is more important.
woo.
We're on
Kurt
fire
is
today.
on fire. I can't wait to see you sink
It's
your
because
teeth into that apple.
I ate this apple
Uh,
earlier.
I
It gave
mean,
me energy.
It's amazing what happens when you eat apples versus sugary donuts.
You'd be surprised how many breakfasts he's actually had this morning. Or you may not be surprised.
No, not surprised.
Of course he ate his donuts. He ate his donuts and an apple already.
They didn't have my chocolate donuts, so I had to settle for the powdered cinnamon donuts.
Yeah. Is that bad, Dr. Chapa? Like, if you eat like a little package of powdered donuts every day, what's going to happen to your body? As we have
Oh my gosh.
having this experiment with Kurt for the past year
The amount of sugar that is in powdered donuts, I mean, it spikes your insulin, and that can create, if you are already under stress, one of the things that will start to happen is it will affect the way your adrenal glands handle cortisol. And so if the cortisol levels remain too high for too long, and then you have insulin that's spiking all the time, one of the things that, I have a little document that we have. It's 146 ways that sugar can influence and ruin your health. And sugar can affect everything from blood pressure to skin to energy to sleep. I mean, you name it. It can create all kinds of, stress on the body.
Wow.
And so sugar is, it's a poison. I mean, and when I talk about food allergens, we got wheat, dairy, corn, soy as, our food allergens, and we could go on up to, peanuts, chocolate, red meat, tomatoes, chicken, pork. But in the top 10 of most common food allergies, we do not have sugar listed. Why?
Because it's not a food.
It's not a food.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chemical, and it is definitely in the deadly, additives to avoid, which are artificial ingredients, the processed high fructose corn syrup. You got a question?
Yeah, well, Ashley has a question about the detox. She said, I don't think I'm prepared to do the entire 21-day detox at the moment, but I did it in January and I loved it. What are the benefits of only doing the 7-day detox versus the entire 21 days? Good morning, Ashley, by the way. Thank you for watching.
Good morning, Ashley. So, the 7-day detox is just 7 days of what the 21 days is. And so you're giving your body more time to reach deeper into the cell structure and pull out trash our body doesn't need. And, the body stores toxins in 3 places. It stores toxins in the brain. That's why people walk around aimlessly looking for their keys, or why do they, come into the room and for what? The body stores toxins in the joints, and that's why people have arthritis, or what I like to call arthrongus, because there's nothing rightus about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the body stores toxins in the fat cells, and that's why the fat cell can swell up 7 times the size of normal. And so
Is that what bloated is? Like feeling bloated sometimes?
Yeah, like when you feel like you eat a meal and you're getting in the car and you're unbuttoning the top button. I mean, that's not necessarily normal. That means that you probably, one, overindulged. In a lot of these restaurants we go to, they overfeed us, right? And then, but they also give us snacks like chips or breads or this and that, and that causes us to, they say that the doorway to gluttony is variety. And if you think about it, it's true. I mean, you can have, some
gluttony. Isn't that like when you're jealous of somebody?
No, that's just eating a lot.
No, that's called
like overeating.
coveting. Coveting is jealous of somebody.
You're a
Gluttony
glutton.
is like you can't stop
overeat,
eating.
eat
and never
donuts. Then
stop.
you have an apple. Then you have some more donuts and another apple.
And so what happens is if you think
So it's like going to the buffet.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not being able to stop like after like plate 1.5 or 2. You're just
Wait,
like,
you
oh.
guys
just
are stopping after 2?
Well, after dessert. But yeah,
No, I'm stopping after like plate 5. If I'm going to a buffet, the Golden Corral, I gotta get my money's worth.
yes, that's gluttony.
but that's the whole thing of a buffet, right? I mean, how much food do you really need in a setting?
Enough to feel full?
I mean, really, yeah. I mean, because if you pack too much food in the digestive system, and it slows down transit time because your body's got to what am I going to do with this load of stuff? And now the stuff goes through your body too slowly. Now it begins to rot and putrefy, and so that's a challenge for the body, and that's a biochemical stress now that you're physically putting on your biochemistry. And so one of the things that we want to see people do is, that's why intermittent fasting is such a powerful tool. So answering Ashley's question, a 7-day detox is just an accelerated version, but it gets you in the door. Like if you've never done a detox before, this is a good place to start. Give this the shot it deserves, and you'll be blown away what 7 days on a trashy diet, feels like. When you get that out of your body and you stop eating foods that are inflaming your tissues and causing your blood pressure to potentially go up or your cholesterol to go up or your skin to be in a flared up state where you can't get your rings off or you actually physically have rashes, then you'll see a shift begin to happen even inside of 7 days. So it doesn't matter what your time frame is. If you got 7 days this summer before you go on a vacation, if you got 7 days and then you got another 7 days, and later in the summer, you could get all 21 days in 7-day increments, and you can be still proud of that. And that's something that I want to help people understand is detox needs to be an active player in your lifestyle. It needs to be something that we're doing regularly because when we are inundated with alcohols and parties and fried foods and sugar foods and
donuts
and all the different processed food that people are getting access to, taking time 7 days out of a month isn't really a lot to ask whenever it comes to wanting to take care of the vessel that God's given you.
Here's a good question from Tracy. She said, what is, if there is any benefit to doing a detox, if you're mostly WFPB? I feel like I allow too many cheats. And I asked her what that means, and she said that's whole food, plant-based. So she's mostly on a whole food, plant-based diet. Is there a benefit for her doing this, a detox or this detox?
And I would say there's no question, but we need to get in and find out. And so here's what I've found is everybody benefits from detox because you haven't always been on a plant-based diet. There's been seasons of your life. And this is what people don't realize. I mean, if you've been on birth control for, 5 years, I mean, that stuff can linger around. Mm-hmm. Remember, toxins are stored deep in the cell structure. And if they can't get out, they're just stored there. And that might answer some of why you got into plant-based living in the first place, because you were looking for an answer to a symptom pattern that you couldn't find a solution to. And so detox could be an accelerant. And you're already plant-based, so this is pretty much a plant-based diet anyway. And if you're in day 10 on the 21 day, we let you, or 11, we let you put the proteins back in. But if you want to remain plant-based for the full 21, that's how I originally started the programs. My first 15 detoxes were vegetables only for 21 days.
I would hurt people
and
if I only did vegetables for 21 days.
I mean, maybe. But I find that when you get the oils in there, the spices in there, you steam them, cook them, grill them, you change up the way you go about, bringing the vegetable into the conversation. Yeah, I mean, it's a definite, but it's a play on your mind. It's and your willpower and your ability to say, you know what, I can do anything for 7 days. I can do anything for 14 days and 21 days. And a lot of times in that window of time that you're willing to give, I believe that, God honors your willingness to take a step forward.
It's 9:01. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We have Dr. Chapa in studio. This is a comment from Saul. He said, Dr. Chapa is the nutritional father time. He is going to live longer than Moses. And it sounds funny, but that's really the goal. I mean, we've talked about it before, like your goal to be, in mind, spirit, body, to live as long as possible, take care of what you have, and to be, 110, 20 years old. Why not?
Why not?
Wasn't Moses 900-something years old?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, we'd have to go and, one of our Bible scholars could probably pull that forward.
If we had an intern in today, which could be you if you want to intern,
Yeah.
we could get that fact check. No,
I've heard that Moses was really, really old.
yes, he was, but I don't know if it was 900. But he could be. But again, we can't get that fact checked right now.
So we can't fact check it, but we can say is detox needs to be a part of everybody's lifestyle plan and at whatever capacity. So again, we just got a great event starting Monday, and we'd love for you guys to pick up your detoxes this week and make sure that you know where to get it, 281-554-8600, or visit our website at justlivewell.com and let us help you out in this June detox experience. And then we got a couple other things going on this summer too. We're excited. We've got our June 20th is our June 10th is our mommy meetup. So Dr. Amber's heading that up and reaching out into the community and doing some good stuff with moms. And whether you're, currently pregnant, we have great fertility protocols and programs that we like to lead people through from a biochemical perspective and a chiropractic perspective. And postnatal care, whenever mom is slipping off into postpartum, that can be avoided. People don't realize postpartum depression is a real thing, and we could totally serve and help. And that community is designed to just get moms together talking shop about health. And the more we get people to talk about health awareness, the more we start seeing shifts and changes happen in what we even are seeing offered to us at grocery stores, whether or not we're going to get healthy apples or poisoned apples.
Speaking of poisoned apples, we have some apples that Curt brought.
Segue into the apples. Is it time to bite into these apples?
Chapa, it's a real apple. I don't know why you're concerned about that.
I'm not concerned. I can tell it's definitely a real apple.
I was looking at the bottom of this, and I saw you looking at it too, and is that mold in there? Is it supposed to look like that? I've never examined an apple for that long. Look at the bottom. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Is that normal?
It looks like a tomato.
You got to just wonder.
No, it's like green. It looks like a spider went in there and just started spinning a little green web of mold. Just something that I wouldn't necessarily want to eat.
That,
How long have you had these?
You don't ever eat the core, but yeah, that's a good question. How long have these been in your refrigerator?
Since Thursday night.
Thursday night. So
you don't know.
Not
Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night.
Okay.
All right.
We got some apples.
Do
and
you
want
want to take a bite and do it?
I'm ready.
All right. Or do you want to wait?
No, you can do it. I'm just trying to figure out what you got going through your head right now.
I want to try it.
Eat it.
I've never had one of these.
Let's do it.
All right. So they're eating some apples. It's 9:05. This is KHEARadio.com.
Definitely a real apple.
And it's real, so there's not Skittles inside.
There's no Skittles inside.
That's
I'm
Curt.
disappointed in this apple.
That's Curt chewing, if you're wondering.
But it does still have that flat. Maybe you sprayed cologne on it or something. Did you spray something on it?
No, I didn't. This is how they came. I'm kind of disappointed. I expected it to taste a little different.
Okay.
Mine tastes different than a normal apple.
It does taste different, but I expected more of it to taste like the other product that's in it.
Herbicide.
I know there's something else in it.
There is.
It's a grapple.
I mean, it's almost like there's a. I mean, the thing that just keeps coming to my mind is like
a grapple.
That whenever you spray, aerosols, around, I'm smelling like extra cleaner.
Yeah.
It's not quite as strong as Febreze, but I mean,
it's Grape Fabuloso.
Maybe it's Grape Fabuloso. Is that what you washed it in Grape Fabuloso?
Somebody said that it's better when you eat stuff that are cleaned with 409.
I'm going to go ahead and put my apple down.
No, they're called grapples. You can actually get them from the grocery store. And it's like a grape apple. You've never seen those before? I saw them in the store at Kroger, and I was like, this is interesting. I want to try it. I like grape. I don't really mind
It
apples.
is a little bit grapey.
Well, it smells like it for sure. Ashley said Mike washes his apples with vinegar to get the yucky stuff off of it. Does that
That
help?
works for sure. Yeah,
Really?
absolutely. That's an easy home remedy cleaning technique for your produce. So
Hey, Kurt, do we know any other facts about the apple? Like, what was the base? Because Tracy said, what kind of apple? Washington, Granny, Smith, Fiji? I don't know. I don't know what they use. It's actually a little bit of a smaller apple. I will say that. But I guess they do some, like, hybrid, cross something where they take elements of a grape and they incorporate it into an apple. I would like to see them do it the opposite way, where they take a grape and incorporate elements of the apple into the grape. So that way it looks like a grape, but maybe tastes.
as I'm eating
Apple.
this, and I said to myself, I'm gonna just have a fasting morning. I was just gonna drink water this morning.
Yeah.
And here I'm getting to indulge in this wonderful apple. Maybe this is God's way of saying it's time to do a gallbladder liver flush.
It says
I get to eat apples all day, maybe.
It says it's grape-flavored apple. Ingredients include apples, natural, and artificial grape flavor. And that's it.
Oh, that's.
That's great. I love artificial grape flavor.
It says natural and artificial. But it doesn't tell you what kind of artificial flavoring.
No, Dr.
But it
Chapa
says-
puts it down, scoots it away. He's like,
It says
yeah.
crunches like an apple, tastes like a grape.
It does. It does taste pretty good, though. But what doesn't taste good that's artificial?
Yeah, some of those natural and artificial flavors, they just squeeze them right in there.
But it is interesting. I could smell it like something different whenever just smelling it. It didn't have that, a smelly, like
Yeah.
a normal smell to an apple. So that was kind of interesting.
Here's the packaging if you wanted to look at it.
They could get mad at you. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. This is 99.5 FM, KHEA radio.com. It's Kickstart. We're going to be on until 11. God. Just a lot of
Crunching
behind the scenes going on right now, so I wanted to get that off the FM as there would be silence. So, hey, let us know. Have you used any of those products before? Maybe some of the hybrid, or I don't even understand it. They spray natural and artificial grape smell. Just like all over
I am
apples.
curious to know what the artificial grape flavor is. We'd have to just dig in and look it up.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that wants to look up grapples and fine, maybe. So now, since I've been retoxed, I need to detox.
It's still an apple.
Are you doing the whole 21 or 7 days? What are you doing?
I'm going to probably do about 10 because I'm going on a trip for a week and I don't want to detox, so I'm on a trip.
Are you going on a cruise?
No, I wish.
Where are you going?
We're going to a I'm not remembering where we're going exactly, but we're going to this place called Mo Ranch, and it's like a Christian, family camp. And so me and my kids and wife and are going to go and hang out for a week, play in the country, and it'll be a good time, I think.
Maybe do like a detox from, not necessarily from work, but from
Exactly.
like
From
social
just-
media, like
Exactly.
technology.
Yeah. So they basically have all kinds of different, programs you can do family-wise. They got stuff you can do individually to grow spiritually, as well as just kind of connect again with, your family. Because
Yeah.
so often, people don't even gather around the table anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, it's one of the things that my wife, I'm really excited for, that she always tries to do is at least, 2 or 3 times a week, she's trying to rally our tribe around a dinner table so we can sit and look at each other and communicate about how the day's going and how the week's gone and how the month's going and what's to come, and just share in that, because it doesn't happen often in society anymore where people stop and eat together. We are just scarfing food down on the go and on the fly, and it's not even always common for people to stop and pray over their meal anymore. It's easy not to do those things, and so integrating those type of lifestyle things causes us to slow down and chew our food and engage in conversation. And I think that social media is wonderful and great, but it sure has sped up life where we're all inundated with something dinging, an email that needs to be checked, or a phone message that needs to be handled, or a Facebook post that needs to be made. Something's going on always, and so it's just we're constantly inundated. So it's going to be a little fun camp that we're going to try out.
I think we need a phone detox.
Who does?
There's people that that do that, but
I do.
Because this thing is attached to it. This is like an electronic leash, and this is also they do technology detoxes where we break away from the social media realm for a time so that you can regenerate. I mean, but how would we have?
I think
talk?
before you do a phone detox, you need to do a real detox.
That's right.
Like just stop eating like powdered sugared and donuts and everything.
I ate an apple.
I don't understand how you're not done with that tiny apple yet. It's been Did you have like extras underneath the table or something?
No, this is
because I just keep hearing this in my ears.
Look at his apple. He's not done with his.
Yeah, he put it down whenever
I
you
did
told him.
too.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. I mean, I have definitely chomped on it for sure. But at the end of the day, apples do have a lot of benefits. Apples are very good in helping as a healthy fiber to move trash through the body, through the bowel, speed up bowel motility, as well as produce bile from the liver and mobilize the liver to function better. So I mean, apples are powerful. Beets are powerful. Great. Brussels sprouts, fantastic. Broccoli.
Apples are on that level is like those others.
They have a great, because of what they can do for the fiber part, and they have a way of emulsifying or liquefying stuff that is stagnant and sticky in the liver and gallbladder. It can help start mobilizing that through.
They do say an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
That's what they've always said, that it wasn't a Hershey bar a day. It wasn't a donut a day. That they always say that you've been watching too much television if you reach for the donut a day philosophy. You've got to, but is it, an apple a day? But what if it was a walk around the block was your apple a day? What if it's a metaphor for you choosing to do something for yourself today that wasn't, the norm for you? Maybe you normally unwind with a glass of wine. Instead, you have an apple and a glass of water. What if you started your day and just had apples for half the day? Some of the detoxes, cleanses that we offer in our office, when people get stuck and stagnant in the process, we'll have them do an apple day because it has enough, sugar to kind of lift you out of the cloud. But it also allows for stuff to move through the body. And 80% of your energy is in your digestive tract. So like if you're tired all the time, or if you find yourself sluggish throughout the mid-afternoon, a lot of times it's because your bowels didn't move fully in the morning. And so all of a sudden your body needed to, if you were could find a way to get your bowels to move, you'd get a jolt in energy because it's like you unloaded waste that you were carrying around for 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. And so that's why we always talk about timing. When you have a bowel movement as important of a conversation as if you have a bowel movement. So you don't want to have a bowel movement at 5 p.m. when you're supposed to have one between 5 and 7 a.m. And so because that, if you have a bowel movement once a day and it's at 5 p.m. or in the afternoon sometime, especially for the kids with ADD, ADHD, especially with people that have skin disorders or allergies, they're carrying around last night's toxicity all through the night from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. They're carrying that liver detox waste and settling it into the bowel, waiting for its evacuation at some time in the afternoon. Well, it should be within hours, like 5 to 7. So if it's 1 to 3 a.m. is your liver meridian, 5 to 7 a.m. is your bowel digestive tract meridian. It's most active first thing in the morning. And so you should be unloading that waste first thing. And if you're not, you might be ready for a detox.
So Ashley, she mentioned that during the 21-day detox, which she did earlier this year, apples were her daily treat before 4 p.m. And I guess that was like a good way to kind of treat yourself and look forward to something. Mine was eggs. Whenever I figured out we could have eggs, like on day 10 or 11 or whatever it was, oh man, I ate probably like too many eggs. But it was something that I carried on for like the next 3 weeks. And it, starting my day with eggs, or I wanted a snack, I'd eat an egg.
I think that's one of the things I love about detox also is that it's like a cinder block. You throw it in the pond, it makes a big ripple and splash, right? And so when you do a detox, it has an after effect on you making good health choices for weeks, months to come. And I find that a lot of times my 21-day detox experience will last me approximately 6 months. So between 4.5 to 5 months, I start noticing I'll deviate a little in areas, and I'm going like, okay. And it's like, that's why 6 months really does work for me. And some people might be like, man, as soon as they get off the detox, they're back into pizza. Well, that's when you're new. That's like, the baby wanting to learn to, crawl.
That was you, Kurt.
Oh, pizzas and cheese.
Pizza and cheese.
What if I
Pizza
just
and
did?
cheese.
Okay, so what if
Clog
this?
you up?
What if for this detox I just do 21 days no cheese?
I mean, it's not a detox at that. It's a cleanse or a fast at that
Okay,
point.
we'll do
So you
that.
change the you change the vocabulary, right? So and that's a good point. So like the Daniel fast that a lot of churches like to do during the beginning of the year, that's a fast / cleanse because they're fasting away from processed food. If you look at the diet. And so what you eat's important, but what you don't eat is more important. So we always go back to that model. And so what you don't put in the body is allowing your body not to be inflamed. And so if the digestive tract is inflamed, the skin is inflamed. If the digestive tract is inflamed, the liver can't do its job. You're more prone to going to have cholesterol problems, blood pressure problems. You're going to see, your low back starting to hurt, kidney problems, kidney pain. If you find yourself in a state where you have, urinary tract infections quite regularly, guess what? You have toxicity going through the wrong exit channel. And that's another important factor here as well in the detox realm is knowing, like, what is your body telling you? And that's why at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we do a timeline history and a thorough evaluation of, like, where have you been? What's working? What's not working? Like, how long has that been going on in your body? What have you done to fix it? And if we can figure out, as we go through the process, a good starting point, or if you're just a good candidate for detox, man, it will launch you into a new dynamic moving forward. And people love feeling good. And we want you to be addicted to feeling well. And so that you're mindful that when you put stuff in.
Right now, we're going to take a quick little flip, and we're going to go over to the FM again. I think Kurt's about done eating that apple. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Kurt.
And we have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio talking about health, wellness. That was The Young Escape. Love me like you. Thank you for listening. If you're on KHEAradio.com or maybe on the brand new KHEA Radio app. If you don't have it, go download it today. Go to the Google Play Store, go to the App Store, search KHEA Radio, hit the download button, and leave a good review. It'd be really nice of you.
Ooh, the 5-star review.
I like the 5-star.
We love 5-star reviews.
And any recommendations, as long as they're like good recommendations.
And we want to hear them.
We want to hear them.
Yeah. And that's the way it is with health, too. Like, hey, do you have a recommendation, Dr. Chapa? What can I do to be healthier? But I want to hear it. It's what I want to hear.
It's what I want to hear. And unfortunately, a lot of times, eating well and living well and socializing well don't seem to always, go hand in hand. I have heard, and I don't know that this is exactly true of just people being facetious and funny, but that people choose relationships now around food. That way they're
compatible.
Yeah,
Food compatible.
I
food
used to
compatibility
always
relationships.
Always think that if you had to like the same peanut butter as the other person, because who wants to go through life buying two jars
of
peanut butter?
Sooner or later, you'll just evolve.
One day, we'll
Yeah.
keep praying for him.
Yeah.
Like kids. I have kids, and my kids are like, oh, there's a certain kind of jelly they like, and I happen to like the same kind of jelly, but my wife likes a different one, so it's okay. You just have 2 jars of jelly, like strawberry and grape. Everybody's okay.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup or
Of course
artificial
not.
ingredients like this graphic.
Gardy's like,
Yeah, of course.
I don't eat
So-
much jelly.
Yeah, so we also have a great brain talk coming up in June as well, and that's June 20th at 6:30 p.m. We're going to be talking about healthy brain and aging games that you can work with. I mean, people don't realize it, but the brain is very sensitive to stress. Like how many people out there smash the like button if you've, had stress in the last month and a half, and that stress hasn't let up yet. And that chronic stress that begins to happen in your life, it will take its toll, not just on your endocrine hormonal system, but also on your brain and the way that your brain works and performs for you. And stress over time will denature brain cells and cause them to wither away and die early. And then your ability to be sharp and witty begins to decline. And again, you have a system in your brain that only works when you sleep. And it's called, get ready, it's not the lymphatic, but the glymphatic. Glymphatic. And the glymphatic system only works when a person is sleeping. So if you're not sleeping, you're not detoxing either. If you're not sleeping, you're not going to age well. and it will drive inflammatory processes through the night. If you go to bed and you find yourself like watching movie reels while you're sleeping, like you
Dreaming constantly?
yeah, it's like it's like you're like, I don't even think I slept last night. I watched like 15 movies in my head. And that's not sleeping. That's not the dreaming REM sleep that they talk about.
Here, I have a question based on that really fast. The last 2 mornings, I have felt like when I've woken up that I've woken up from like something that's really heavy. You know, like I'm in the maybe in the middle of an REM or something, and then my alarm goes off. Whereas the other, most of the time, probably 95% of the time, like I'm fine waking up at that time. But it's been really heavy the last 2 days.
So there's a couple of things I would wonder. Number one, how many hours of sleep total had you had up until that point?
So last night was 6.
Okay, so 6 is kind of like that bare minimum. That's pretty good. It'll work, but it's not ideal. Obviously, we want 7.5 to 8's the better place to sit. But 6 will work. But if you find that you're waking up feeling heavy and you are getting between 6 and 8 hours of sleep a night, then that's the liver giving you a sign that it's struggling to get its work done throughout the night, and it didn't get its work done throughout the night. And that's when people feel sluggish and run down in the morning, and they wear shirts like, no talkie till coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that shows is
Preach it.
we want to give people, liver support at the evening hours, sometime between dinner and bedtime, to help support the liver as it's going into a sleep cycle so that you get a better sleep. If you found people that sleepwalk, that's a classic liver glitch. The liver is not doing its job well, and it's disrupting circadian rhythms, and a person will literally be up, eyes open and everything, moseying around, and you have to give them, you got to, don't startle them awake, but like coax them back into their bed and get them back to sleep. But then the next day, they need to be doing liver work.
Wow.
And it could be something that I have a project in my office that is full of beets, and it increases bile flow and bile formation, and it helps to cleanse liver trash out of the body. And we do that throughout the day and in the evening, and the body will typically sleep better. And you'll see things like, aggressive dreaming or feeling, tired, excessively tired in the morning when you had a night of good quote unquote sleep, or if you have other symptoms, throughout the night that you don't like waking up to pee or something like that.
It's 9:24. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. Talking Dr. Aaron Chapa. We talk to him every Tuesday about health and wellness. We ask you to feel free to send in questions if you want to text him, 346-704-1806, or right here on our Facebook stream, which a lot of people have. So here's a question, and I think that you said Dr. Amber is doing like a women's wellness health talk. Is that something she's been doing?
No, it's what it is. It's like a mommy meetup
Okay.
group. It's not necessarily like a talk per se. It's just a place where moms are gathering and they're talking shop together in like a very like casual environment.
Okay.
Kids are playing and moms are chatting and they're getting to know that there's more people out there that are interested in this thing called health. And so the next one of that date is coming up on the Mommy Meetup June 10th, and that is headed up by Dr. Amber, and then June 20th is our Brain Talk.
Okay, so here's a question that was asked, and this is something that we don't know much about, and you probably do because you've seen it. So I see Curt sighing, and actually it went away, so let me see if I can click on it. So the question is, when do menstrual cramps they not become normal? And so I said, what do you mean, like it becomes too much? Yes.
Okay. So, well, number one, any menstrual cramping is not normal, and so we want people to recognize that the Midols and the cramp pills that people are taking are they're serving as a need because they don't have a better alternative.
It's like a crutch.
It is absolutely a crutch, and it's very hard on your liver and kidneys to live with those crutches. And so what we find is that anytime the endocrine system, your hormonal system, so that means that all the ladies that deal with menstrual cycling, the minerals are low, number one. Number 2, they don't have enough essential fatty acids to get those minerals to their destination. And then number 3, that we've got to get in there and find out what is their blood sugar doing, what's their adrenals doing to cause that miscommunication. So we can feed the uterus, like we can give it uterine tissue and help like treats like. We can rebuild it, and make it stronger and healthier, more vibrant. We can help balance the blood sugar so that if we got a person that's got, endometriosis or PCOS or some of these other, issues going on that are literally hormonal imbalances. And once you balance out the hormones without drugs and surgery, mind you, we want the body to get the grip that it needs back on itself so that it can hold its checks and balances in play so that the person doesn't have to suffer with these things. And so we come in and we evaluate your food. We're going to evaluate the, what needs the body has based on our evaluation techniques, and we can find where your body's breaking down, what we can do to turn it back on and get it to start reprogramming. But we also have products that we sell in our office just for it that are herbal versions that help cramping be more tolerable until we take the time, because it takes approximately 3 to 6 months to reset a cycle. And so one of my secret tricks that I love working with in patients and people that do this, typically within 3 cycles, they have a normal functioning cycle again. The day the menses begins, we put them into a vegetable-only diet. So if it's 7 days of bleed time, then we do 7 days of vegetables only, cooked, grilled, steamed, raw, cooked, kicked around the ground, however they can get them in. We get them in, and so it's a borderline what? A cleanse / detox now, right? And, we're not fully detoxing them. We're just putting them into a cleansed state where their body has no extra stress digestively so that it can redivert that energy to their sex organs.
Whenever you're talking about women's cycles and menstrual and all that, do you ever see any, for lack of a better word, like negative feedback? Because people are like, well, you're not a woman. You don't know what it's like. How can you tell me what to do or suggest?
No, I haven't really seen that. Maybe in the beginning I did, but I just talked to it, right? Like, I think a lot of times I'm very, good at handling and dealing with the elephant in the room. Like, people want to ask those questions. So I'm excited somebody asked such a great question because I think that if we're not talking about this stuff, and my wife used to do this to me too. So I actually probably got more negative flack from my wife because I was trying to coach her through like how to have birthing contractions. She goes, it's not your body. You can't. You don't know how it works. And I'm like, okay, maybe, but not really. That's not true. I mean, I've got a martial arts background. I've got I'm into like controlling parts of my body, like getting in touch with like the parts of the spine. I mean, I've dissected 167 cadavers. I mean, I've seen how the body works neurologically. I mean, I've got skill sets that allow me a window into physiology. I'm like a master physiologist, so it allows me to understand why a body is doing what it's doing. And so I said, so just appreciate that you're right. I've never had a menstrual cramp, and I've never having birth pains, but I do know that, we can control the way we relax certain muscles in our body and contract others that seemingly feels impossible, but is very much possible. And when once we got through, I think the second birth, she started realizing that she liked having me coaching her at her side, and sometimes having that unemotional attachment to your situation allows me to see things that you can't see, and that's what a lot of the do-it-yourselfers struggle with is, we all want to be a little bit do-it-yourself, right? And the body is a do-it-yourself. The body will fix a lot of things if you get it right, but sometimes we're too emotionally attached to ourselves that we are looking for information, like we're reaching for information when it's really the side effect of a drug they're on, or it's a food they just won't get off of, right? And so if I can get people to realize that these is what we've seen, we know these cause inflammation in the body, we know this is good and nourishing to the body, and if we put more good things in that nourish and strengthen the body, and we take inflammation out of the body through either food, water, fluid of sorts, not water, so to say, but the all of a sudden we start outperforming the cause that's made the cramp happen. And so we can totally get it. So if you do a vegetable only for 3 cycles on the days of menses, I bet you within 60 to 90 days, 90 days for sure, you will have no cramping or very, very minimal, to the point where you're going, wow, that's pretty cool.
Wow. It's 9:31. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. If you have any health questions, feel free to ask. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. Dr. Aaron Chappa's in studio every Tuesday answering your questions. So if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to ask them. I see some people just joining in. What's up, David, Carricker, and Robin, and everybody else who's hanging out with us right now? We appreciate you guys. Feel free to share this stream out, because there are going to be people that are on your Facebook friends list who are struggling with health questions. Maybe they are struggling with menstrual stuff. I see Curt pointing at himself right now.
Dang, I was pointing before you said it.
Oh, so what are you struggling with that maybe you could ask and somebody on your friends list would benefit?
I'm struggling.
You're struggling with cheese.
Yeah,
but why?
So what we find with why?
I want to get down to the root of why are you struggling with cheese? Why are you letting food control you, and how is it making your life bad?
Why are you both looking at me so weird? Like,
you brought it up.
You
did this.
You made me. I just like cheese. I always have American cheese.
Yeah, but see, what I find when people have like an addiction to a food like yours,
it's not an addiction. It's just a like.
Well, no, but you bring it up like it's something that you're not giving up. You can't get rid of it. I mean, I've had people go, no, you can't give up I can't give up my cheese. I can't give up my milk. I can't whatever. And what I find is the very thing that they are craving and reaching for is also driving an inflammatory adrenaline rush. And so they're getting this little high, so to speak, from adrenaline, from the inflammation that food is causing in their tissues. And so the longer we can get them off of it and the more we can restore and heal the gut, the easier it is for them to walk past whatever inflammatory food it is.
Okay. You have any thoughts to answer to that, to all he just said?
The cheese is still gonna be part of my life. Like, if I'm having a hamburger, I can't just have a hamburger.
Why? I did.
I can't. I need the cheese.
Oh, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
That is true.
I mean, right?
Golly.
I mean
now I can't say anything.
Well, but now again, you also have to come to the point, and that this might be true, where you haven't fully, realized for yourself that milk really doesn't do a body good for you, and one day you will. It might be 3 more years, 5 more years, and you'll take all this, inundation that, Gardy and I have been throwing at you for these years that we're together in this season, and you'll go, you know what? They were right. I wish I'd have listened back then. But when it goes back to the oak tree conversation, when's the best time to plant that oak tree?
30 years ago.
When's the next best time? Today.
Tomorrow.
So wherever you're at, you start today, not tomorrow, today. And you do your best today moving forward.
Here's a question from Robin.
Yeah.
Unless you had something to say, Dr. Chapa?
No, I just saw if y'all saw any of these, some of these questions that people had. But go ahead, Robin.
Cool. Okay, I have a question. How can I get all of my blood work back and everything? Everything is good, including my hormone levels, according to the doctor. But it is still extremely hard for me to lose weight. I have told them I feel like I have adrenal issues, but they will not test me for that.
Yeah, so a lot of times, guys, blood work is the last thing that malfunctions, and you really want it to be that way. So what medicine does today, and this is an area where the lack is present, but it is, it seems to be changing a little bit. But there's, old hats, teaching the old dog a new trick isn't always easy, is pathological evaluation of blood work. Is people are looking for pathology, disease in the blood. The blood has multiple layers of buffering protective mechanisms to hold it in a stable state. Okay, and so when the blood gets out of whack, according to a blood work, that means buffering mechanisms have fallen short already. So that means the hand has already written on the wall, and whatever its message was came to pass. What we do, we look at blood work from a functional perspective. So, Robin, we would like to see your blood panel, and we'll evaluate it according to what we call functional medicine eyes, where we're looking for the trends, the patterns, the ratios that are not manifestation of a pathology. Remember what we've said always, that in the beginning, disease is hard to recognize but easy to fix. And in the end, disease, according to blood work, is easy to recognize. There it is. But it's harder to fix because it's already, blown up out of proportion. Mm-hmm. And so whether it's, a high cholesterol situation or whether it is a high liver enzyme or autoimmune antibodies for the thyroid, these are patterns that we want to look at. And I find that you don't want just a regular one-spot shot of cortisol check on your adrenals anyway via blood. You'd rather we use a Dutch Complete test. You ought to look that up, Dutch Complete. And the Dutch test looks at all your sex hormones as well as your 4-point, sometimes 5-point cortisol panel, where we can see a whole day of cortisol rhythm, and we can get an idea of what your cortisol rhythm and patterns look like. And a lot of times you don't even need, if your blood work's already perfect, but you're still struggling in the weight loss department, I'm telling you, it's in your bowel, it's in your liver, it's in your lymphatics. We've got to get in there and clean those systems up. And what you got as a clean bill of health from the doctor is just that. It's a clean bill of health from a pathological perspective, but I bet you there's something functional going on, meaning like you said, something is not right. I can't lose weight. I can't. And I bet you there's a slew of other little, they're not diseases, but they're just nuances that you would like to see resolved. So skin rash, allergies, headache, you get cramps with your cycle. I mean, whatever it is, in addition to that weight loss goal. And we start evaluating you from a different set of eyes. And that's what Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center stands for, is what we've always stood for, is we listen to you and join forces, and we will run those other tests because we believe that, it is necessary for you to see, one, that you're okay, and two, that, we can give you other options that aren't going to be just diagnostically driven. Why not do a detox and fix stuff? Why not do one of our sequential immune upregulation cleanses and clean up immune burdens that you are for sure carrying? I mean, all of us have infections in our body, and it's our number one burden. And over time, it takes a bigger toll on our health.
Infection in the body in different ways.
That's right.
It sounds crazy. What you working with, Curt? I see you're dying to say something over there.
I do. I have a question.
Ask away.
So it's summertime. A lot of people probably spent time yesterday on the beach or outside enjoying time with family, and probably ended up with something like I ended up with, and that's a nasty sunburn. Like, ooh, nasty. Wow, nice. Like it's red. How can people, is that concerning, and what can people do that's a healthy alternative to making sure that they're not struggling, I guess, or hurting the day after being out in the sun too long?
So number one is to be proactive and preventative. So like sun blocks, not sunscreens. Sun blocks are better than sunscreens. Sun blocks have a titanium dioxide or zinc oxide in it that will reflect all the sun's rays, not just allow some of them through, and reapplying if you're fair skinned. But then more importantly, it comes down to healthy mineral levels, calcium, magnesium levels, as well as essential fatty acids and vitamin D. So from something like as simple as cod liver oil or good fish oil will allow for protection internally of that epithelial tissue, and it'll handle the sun more effectively, number two. And then staying hydrated, number three. Now, if you are burned by the sun, you're out in the sun too long or whatever, coverings, hats, glasses, those kind of wick type shirts that, keep the sweat, keep it cool kind of thing.
Like fishing shirts too.
Fishing shirts are really good for that kind of stuff. And, protect yourself. Because, when you beat your body up with the sun and you don't remineralize well, it can lead to trouble for you, And so one of the things that we are always very proactive at getting people's mineral levels up. We check in pH. We're looking at the overall function of minerals in your body, not just calcium, magnesium, but everything from, zinc and iodine, manganese, and making sure that your levels, you're getting minerals from all angles, because we know that every tissue in the body, every organ system in the body needs minerals and fats to start as a foundation to protect itself.
So it seems like every summer you know, I used to golf a lot, and so I've tanned before, but then all of a sudden it goes
He
away.
used to actually literally tan in tanning beds too, but keep going.
Yeah, but every summer it happens. I'll get really bad sunburn on my arms like I did yesterday.
And then now you're going to tan the rest of the year.
Tan the rest of the year, but then come next summer, it's going to be back.
Right.
You know?
And so some of that is your body acclimating. I mean, it's because the sun in the burn stage is a stress. So that's why you want to get out there in small doses initially, not one fell swoop of burn, right? I mean, because that's hard on your body. It's
I
like,
was only out for like 2 hours yesterday, but it was enough.
yeah, but yesterday was also, a gorgeous sunny day. I mean, yeah, it was. And so everybody's skin complexion has their moments. Like I got a little bit of a Hispanic blood in me, and so I'm able to turn it brown as a bear myself, or I'm white as I can be when I'm in the winter months and I'm covered. And but it comes down to small doses initially, building up, and then making sure you have adequate minerals and essential fats. And when you do get burned, we use a stuff called Proenzyme at our office. It's like a cream. And it's really for pain, in anywhere in the body, but it sucks the heat out of the sunburn, as well as has plant enzymes in it that help heal the skin. Very cool product. And so we use it for quite a few things, for injuries as well as sunburns.
I was swimming yesterday, and I'm good. So what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
I'm fine. I was out there for hours with my kids.
How
My kids are fine too.
how Hispanic are you?
On a scale.
Like you're both mom and dad.
On a
Hispanic?
scale from like ethnicity, white to
96.
I mean, well, like so me, I'm a quarter, right? So
Okay.
my grandfather was full. He married a white lady, and so now my dad was half. My dad married a white lady, so I'm a quarter, right? So I married a white lady, and so my kids are an eighth.
an eighth, yeah.
So I mean, we're whittling that out of us, and but at this point, my kids all have either my good, side of gene or my wife's Indian blood.
Okay. Well, they're good to go then. Hey, so here's another question, and this is from Kim. She said, which I love Kim. She's one of the best viewers and friends that we have. She downloaded the KHEA radio app before even we did.
Even before we knew it was in the store.
So her question is, how can I kickstart my metabolism?
Yeah, Kickstart.
So I love it. So you could totally start your day with water. You could start your day with a protein fat breakfast. You could start your day by making sure that you're having a bowel movement first thing in the morning. And if you're not, that's why you give us a call at 281-554-8600 and let us help you out. Because your metabolism will be a product of how efficient your detox pathways are and how efficient your sleep habits are and the foods that you're putting in your body. We want to look at, starting your day right with a good healthy breakfast, with a good amount of water intake. So, if you should be drinking 32 ounces of water per 50 pounds of body weight, day in and day out, and making, strides to staying, minerally saturated, as well as, your water intake levels high enough so that your body's cleansing and detoxing regularly.
So that's exactly what this next question has, but I'm going to agree with Jackie on this one. She wants to know what's an alternative to water.
Oh, easy. So you could we have this stuff called Ultima Refresher at our office. That's electrolytes and minerals. And it's like a truly healthy version of an electrolyte drink.
It's like a powder you pour in there and mix
you
in
can
your water?
travel with
Okay.
it, and you can just pour it in a bottle of water, and it tastes like grape or orange flavor or raspberry flavor or there's several flavors. And it's awesome. It's a great product. You could also do, I'll put you find your favorite non-caffeinated herbal tea, and you put a couple tea bags in 40 ounces of water like this, and let it just percolate. Don't even worry about it if it's hot or cold. It has nothing to do with it. Over the next several hours, and you drinking that 40 ounces of fluid, it's going to taste like whatever your favorite tea bag tasted like.
Here's a good suggestion. This is from Tracy. She said, one day I do lemon, the next day I add limes, one day do cucumbers and raspberries, mix it up. Don't do sugar additives.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And so so good job there, Tracy. I agree with you. And you could also do essential oils. You could put essential oils in your water. Like this water bottle here has, a couple drops of peppermint oil. And it makes me, I feel like peppermint really does me well. It increases circulation. I feel like it kind of wakes me up and revives me. So I'll drink this all throughout the morning, and then this afternoon I might put lemon and frankincense or something in it or something, and just change it up. But I like to put in tea bags. I like doing fruit or vegetable infused water, like Tracy's recommending. I mean, it's brilliant ideas.
What if you're trying to lose weight? So that's like your metabolism. But if you just uptake the water intake that you're doing, just like drink more water, is that going to help you lose weight too?
I mean, it very well could. I mean, here's what water is really good for, right? When you drink a lot of water, like everybody should try. You should try this. If you don't have any, major health concerns. I mean, most people that listen to us don't have any debilitating illnesses, and I don't know your case, but like you ought to do 7 days, or when you start the detox with us, take the first 7 days and drink 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of water a day, and try to get all your water in by 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. And that means you can have water after 5. You just sip on it after 5 so that you're not waking up at night to pee. But you want to have all the full 1.5 to 2 gallons consumed by 5 p.m. And then watch what happens over the course of 7 days. Your skin will get more radiant. Your overall feeling of resolve will get more powerful. Like you'll be more tuned in and ready to tackle things. But your desire for food goes down, because you've put a lot of something else in the system, and it's like a water cleanse. You're incorporating water as a tool now at that capacity. Now, would you need to stay at that? No, of course not.
How much did you say?
1.5 gallons to 2 gallons.
1.5 gallons.
I mean, it's a lot.
It's a struggle to drink a gallon, because I've done that before, carrying around a gallon jug.
And you have to get in a habit where you have set checkpoints throughout your day, and 5 o'clock being the goal to have this consumed, and so you're always working at it, and that's the mission is incorporating lifestyle stuff as tools in our future. That's why the detox is a tool. Ashley had asked earlier, or somebody had asked earlier about what do you do for high cholesterol in little kids? How does a little kid have high cholesterol? I mean,
I'm not even sure what high cholesterol means, to be honest.
Well, I mean,
I just know it's not good, and the doctor's like, get your cholesterol down. It's like, okay, what do I do? What does it mean? Get your cholesterol down, and oftentimes they use a drug to do so, which causes all kinds of problems, on the liver. So we don't want to, give a drug to lower the cholesterol, because that doesn't fix anything. All that does is just turn off the check engine light artificially, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem. The underlying problem to high cholesterol is get the kiddos off the sugar and off the grains. The bread, rice, cereal, pastas, the processed junk foods, box foods, are driving the cholesterol levels up. So when you get the carb count down, the starches down, your carbs, you get the daily carb intake below 60 grams of carbs a day. You decrease grains in your body, and all of a sudden, I find I put people on a 21-day detox, and 21 days later, their cholesterol, their triglycerides dropped astronomically. I mean, it's fascinating and wonderful. And so, I mean, doing water cleanses, doing detox programs, getting your metabolism just to spark, we could use, things to stimulate your endocrine system. Maybe you've had, 3 babies and been breastfeeding for the last 14 years, and you need your body needs a reset. Because it took its toll on your body. You have a question. I think Solion asked one. You want to ask that one, Curt?
I don't have it on here. I'm sorry.
I'll ask it. Dr. Chapa, wellness shots that have caffeine, is that a better alternative than coffee?
So, like a wellness shot, I mean, where's the caffeine? The caffeine's got to be coming from somewhere.
I guess they added in there. Maybe tea or something, I would imagine.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'd have to look at the other ingredients. But typically, I try to get people where they're not needing caffeine as a stimulant. I'll tell you, if you have to use artificial stimulants at any level, and caffeine is a stimulant to kind of wake up and get alert and alive.
Yeah.
Every now and again, it's not going to hurt you, right? But it will take its toll on you over time. And so I would rather you have a strong set of adrenal glands that I could give you, say, an adrenal support product and boost your adrenals up, and then all of a sudden your energy pops back up within 15 minutes. Or I could put you on, brain food that we use in the office, or some of my brain shots that we use that are herbs that can increase circulation to the brain, and you get that same feeling, but yet I'm using foods and plants to drive the function as opposed to just, whatever's all in the wellness shot. I mean, again, the wellness shot, if you kind of know what's in it, I can better give you insight.
Yeah, so here's another question from Ashley. She said, what's the cleanest water option? I think she means like Ozarka, Fiji. Is there one that you personally do, or you just do it from the house? I know you have your filters.
Yeah, so I use Berkey Water Systems filters, and then there's also, whole house units that people can get access to. And so you must filter your water. I mean, if you don't filter your water, you become the filter. And one of the things that I will tell you that ever since I've been on, clean water, before that, when I didn't have a Berkey, I would literally go and buy, a reverse osmosis spring water or even distilled water if I couldn't find anything. Now, this distilled will rob your body of minerals, but I was already taking a ton of minerals, right? So, I mean, I was supplementing with minerals and essential fats and vitamins. So whatever I was losing, I was also replacing. And so that didn't have it's near of the same, effect with respect to loss. But I mean, some of these, other questions coming in, and
there's a lot.
I mean, with this idea of water, it does seem impossible the first time, but you start somewhere. So, like, let's say a gallon is impossible. Well, just start with 32 ounces per 50 pounds of body weight for a week. I mean, you will still pee every 10, 15 minutes. As your body acclimates over 30 days to clean that out. And people say the same. They say, my job won't let me get up and pee that much. Hey, look, it's only for 30 days. And once you get past that 30 days, your system's fine. Like it's like your body acclimates to like, okay, this is the new norm.
I can hold my restroom for 2.5 hours just because of Kickstart. Thank you, radio.
Thank you, radio.
Is that a talent?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I used to have to go 8 hours as a teacher.
Yeah.
You didn't get any restroom breaks, not even during lunch?
No, because you can't leave the kids unattended.
You can't ever leave the kids unattended. Yeah.
So you just didn't drink anything, huh?
Yeah, I just never. Well, I usually started with a Kickstart.
Of course.
And then powdered donuts. And then that was it for the rest of the day for 8 hours.
So this has not just been going on since Kickstart, the powdered donut energy drink thing. It's been going on for years.
Years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I do have I want to change. I know it's 9:53. We got about 6 minutes left of Kickstart. So I have an interesting one. It popped up on my news feed last week after Kickstart, and I've really been dying to ask it. It's a new study that came out that actually, it's a couple of studies that came out that said health officials have warned that slumping can lead to back and neck pain, but they're actually saying that that's false, that slumping is now good for you because when you slump, you actually relieve a lot of pain on your back because of your head and everything. And I was like, that's interesting.
Does it mean slumping sitting down? Or like standing up?
So number one, all body movement is controlled by what?
I'm going to guess your spine, your brain?
Your brain. Yeah. So your brain has two functions, survival and movement. And so it's moving and grooving the body, right? And so when you are slumping, you are decreasing the amount of inputs into the brain, and when your head is in a forward position, you're increasing disc pressure by 400% on the back of the spine. Well, whenever your head's cocked into a left hand position or a right hand position, if you're in the sales department and you're always on the phone with your head cocked to the side, you lose anywhere from 45 to 65% of your creative power and energy in being able to deal with stuff on the phone. And so, posture is a big deal. And I think when you find yourself slumping, everything in life seems to draw us back into the fetal position. And we have to do things, compensation-wise to reset those shoulders back, the core to be strong. And I think when you have a good core, good shoulders posture in back, that means that the brain is firing a healthy level of tone to the muscles to hold you upright in a positive measure. So I'm not quite sure neurologically that I would agree with that statement that slumping is good for you.
I did see it was an interesting. It said in fact sitting slump can keep the spine intact and even ease joint and muscle pain. Yeah, I thought that was intriguing.
I would say what's causing your joint and muscle pain. It's not the slumping. It's not the slumping is going to relieve it. There's something driving. Your body stores toxins in the brain, in fat cells, and in the joints. You're either not getting enough good mobility throughout the day. Maybe all you do is get up from your desk, walk to the bathroom, get up, walk to lunch, get up, walk up and down a set of stairs, and you're not doing enough physical activity that allows rotations or lateral flexions to happen and getting the all aspects of those joint receptors, mechanoreceptors to fire like they're supposed to. So again, slumping for me is definitely a sign that you need an adjustment or you need some brain fuel in order to get the brain to kick back into place.
And then it also said here, the reason why slumping is good is because as the upper body leans forward, the weight of the brain and head increases, forcing the spine to carry a heavier load.
And so I think what they're trying to make a case, but the spine is designed like in its normal curvature patterns. So like in your tailbone, your low back, your back, and your neck, they have specific curve patterns that are supposed to be present. And that is designed as your shock absorber. So if you are always walking around in the forward slouched position or you're sitting slouched forward, you're changing the dynamics of what is supposed to be normal for your walking gait or your sitting posture.
If you do that enough, it can permanently change it.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so mobility is your brain is. I don't want to. I mean, it sounds so terrible, like when it comes out of my mouth, but I mean, it is. It's lazy. It wants to make as little energetic patterned shifts. That's why habits are so hard to break and to make, because the brain has got these rhythms and patterns that it's going through the motions to fix and to alleviate trouble in the body, and the brain then has to formulate this new pathway. It requires a ton of fuel to do that, and so I would say that we need to be doing things that pull us more upright and fighting that gravitational shift towards the fetal position, because as you see the elderly happen, you start seeing more and more increased kyphotic curves where you see that hump back, you see that head tilt forward, and it's because they didn't do enough joint mobility and joint cleansing earlier on in their youth.
Here's an interesting question. This one's from Soleon. And
she's bringing all the questions today.
She is. She's doing a good job.
Thanks, Soleon.
She just graduated, so congratulations, Soleon. But she said, last question, before I leave, Dr. Chapa, what is your view on genetic editing? And I said, on food, on humans, on what are you talking about?
I mean, so it says if food. So,
that's what I asked.
I'm assuming you're talking about like like in
humans.
like basically humans. I mean, I think at that level you're trying to play creator. I mean, I don't think it's listen, I mean, this body was designed by one creator, and there's so many working parts. When people are building these labs, so to speak, there was a movie about stuff like this where they were using them basically for
like a lab,
like somebody needed a kidney transplant and they've got themselves built in some version of themselves built somewhere else. I don't think that would be. I don't think that's the way God designed it.
I saw this episode of Smallville. It doesn't end well.
Yeah, I mean, it all. I think it brings a level of problem to the way where life works, and so as far as food goes, I think that I think that there is a way to hybridize food, like they did this grape and apple thing. But I mean, look, even the ingredients say that there's artificial things that they had to do to it to get it to take, so to speak. Nature, if it wants to hybridize something, it will do it, right? But I think it's got a design. I mean, I think that's a hybridization is a form of mutation, and so it brings another level of biochemical shifts and modulation to the playing field. And can it be okay in some respect? Maybe, but when it comes to like human development, that's a pretty loaded question. I mean, I don't. As cool as it sounds that we have the ability, technology-wise, to me, that's like the Tower of Babel. Man is we're made in the image of God. We're creators, but I don't think that we have the ability to be tinkering with building genetically engineered humans. I think that is got TROUBLE written all over it. Trouble.
I can see that. It's 10:01. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Feel free to share this out right now. If you have any questions, you're going to have to send them for Dr. Chapa next week or visit his office in League City or go to his website, justlivewell.com, and you can get started on that as well. You're awesome, Dr. Chapa. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I just want to tell everybody, thank you all for tuning in. I know it's Memorial Day kick back into the saddle, so, let's have a fantastic week. We're going to be launching our detox. We've got mommy meetups. We've got our brain talk coming up in June. June's going to be a great month. We're very excited for all those that tune in every week and support us, support KHE Radio, and are a part of our family, our extended community. And thank you for all the questions. But just remember, all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is the fundamental backbone that allows your body to spiral out of control or get traction and move in the direction that you want it to go. So I just want you to know that you can choose life today by drinking better quality fluids, water primarily, good quality foods, and you can give us a call if you have questions or need support. So give us a call, 281-554-8600, and Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center wants to be your health team leader. So for you and your family. God bless you all.
Coming up next is We Are Messengers on KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. That's our next guest. Call me. Hello?
The Iron Den is going to be our next guest on 99.5 FM. The grapple.
That's right. Hey, I'm going to send Curt out there to come bring you in. All right.
North side?
All right, bye.
He's down by the north side?
Yeah, he said, I think I'm here in the parking lot. I told him, all that stuff. If you could help him get in, or you want me to?
No, I got it. You're
okay,
good.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Hey, Dr. Chapa, you're awesome.
We'll check y'all on the flip.
So who's going to do the detox with Dr. Chapa and everybody else? Because, I've done the detox 2 times before. I did the 21-day detox last fall, and then I also did it again in the beginning of the year. And I will say it's very challenging. If you're up for a challenge, this is it. If you're looking to make some changes in your life and start some healthy habits, this is it. It's very difficult to take all these things out of your life for what seems like no reason. And whenever I say that, I mean, let's say I've been into some watching some fighters lately. I saw Jake Williams was on here. He's going to be in studio with us next Monday with Grandmaster Al Garza, right? If you're training for a fight, it's like, hey, I need to change my diet, and this is why, because there's a goal. Or if I'm an athlete, I need to change for the season. If I have a goal of losing weight, this is what I'm trying to do so I can look like this. But just doing a detox and a cleanse for 21 days, changing everything about your lifestyle, and the whole point is just to do it. Maybe to be healthier. You have to kind of create your own goals. Hey, well, I want to be healthier, so this is what I need to do. So it was a challenge, and I did it, last year towards the end of the year, and then I did it again in January. But I got through it, and it was great. So we're actually going to be switching it up. We're going to be talking about exercising. We're going to talk about getting in shape. We're going to be talking about the Iron Den Gym right here in League City. And I've actually seen their Facebook advertisements, their Facebook sponsored posts and videos that have been popping up. And they caught my attention because they're funny, and the whole setup around it, it's like, man, does this business model make sense? How is it working? Because what they're doing is they're allowing some of these people to come work out for free. Hey, come try it. Come try it and see if this works for you. You know what? After 4 weeks, 6 weeks, however long the program is, I bet you're going to be hooked. And I'm interested to see some of the results. So this is Billy Jones. He's going to be coming in here in a bit, sharing about his business, the Iron Den Gym, which is a really cool name. Iron Den. I feel like den is like the lion's den, and I just think of like an animal in there. And then I think of iron, obviously, pumping iron.
I feel very medieval, kind of thing, like dawn, dawn, dawn.
Okay.
Dawn.
Okay, I feel that. Okay, with the name, like the Iron Den, they're gonna throw you in there and
they're like hammering like the steel, dawn, dawn.
Okay. And you're like a knight, and you're about to do some jousting or something?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like, done.
But that's kind of a cool feeling, though, right?
Yeah. I already feel like
stronger already?
I feel stronger just thinking about me, like, pounding the iron steel at the core of the earth, Like, the fire's, like, lava's, like, shooting up, and it goes...
Dude, you got me kind of hype right now.
I am.
For some reason.
I'm super pumped for this.
Wow. So this is going to be it's going to be a fun segment. Hey, I see Jake in here. So excited for Billy Jones from the Iron Den to be on the show. Billy is awesome, and so is all the staff at the Den. So Jake, he trains at Premier Martial Arts, and I've also seen that he is with the Iron Den gym, working out, training there to get ready for his fight. Well, he just won his fight in like 39 seconds, went and knocked this dude out, MMA. He's 2-0 right now, and so he's going to be making that switch. So here we go. We got Billy. How's it going?
Hey, good, man. How you doing?
Gardy.
Good. Nice to meet you.
You have a seat there.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about your gym. So share one more time. What's the name of the gym? If somebody hasn't heard or does not know you yet.
It's the Iron Den Gym.
The Iron Den. And Curt was sharing a little bit about the name. It's really cool because it makes him think of like a medieval, like somebody just pounding on.
And like lava's flashing up against the
in the background.
It's like, duh.
Yeah, almost like the Conan Barbarian type thing. Well, I mean, yeah, that kind of resonates with me. Originally, I guess we could be called a hardcore gym,
Okay.
for real serious people that are in the lifting pretty hard and heavy. But yeah, that's kind of our origins. But we've definitely evolved since then. Huh? Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of how it started. It was known as a gym, like, hey, these people are hardcore about their workouts, and they're in there like getting big, right?
Yeah, because initially I was a freelance personal trainer, and I was traveling all over the place training my clients, and I was kind of having to do it on the down low because you're in a corporate gym and you're working out with them, but you're also training them. And that's pretty taboo. It's frowned upon in the corporate gym. So I was like, you know what? I need my own location. I need my own place. And originally we opened up. It was just 2,200 square foot, personal training only. And that was in the wake of the success that I had in bodybuilding. So I competed at a pretty high level. I qualified for the USAs and the Nationals a handful of times. And that's what really generated the momentum for the personal training studio. And then luckily, even though we're rooted right between LA Fitness and 24 Hour, there was a pretty big gap to fill as far as where do you go to get your needs met. You're not just another number. So we really took our expertise in how to expedite, getting people lean for competitions and healthy. We really took all that info and rolled it into kind of, what the average Joe needs to get better. Now we just pretty much everyone instead of the hardcore athlete.
We're going to go on the FM right now. Keep it going as well as being on Facebook. Here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
Curt the Barbarian. So we're about to switch it up. We were talking about health, wellness in a natural way with Dr. Aaron Chapa, who's in every Tuesday, where we talk about, hey, fixing your life, fixing your problems through a healthy lifestyle that's based around food. He's about to start his detox. We've done it 2 times before.
I think this is the hardest part about doing this is right now I just want to eat like a wild boar.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like wild game is probably good for you. And
Okay.
Dr. Chapa would potentially
Dr.
agree.
Chapa might. And I'm like, just chowing down, and it's still got like the hair on the drumstick, and you're like, I'm still eating this.
Dude, you're an animal.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we have Billy Jones here in studio, and you are the owner, the founder of a local gym. What's the name of that gym?
The Iron Den Gym.
Oh, I love that name.
How long has it been around now?
7 years. 7 years.
Okay, so you started it 7 years ago, and you mentioned a bit about having a background in bodybuilding.
That's right. Yeah. So
How did you get started in that?
So my senior year, I hurt my back. Football came to an end, and I just had a real an affinity for lifting weights, right? So by 5th grade, I was already lifting weights. By my sophomore year, I was one of the strongest kids in the whole high school, benching 385 pounds. So really excelled in the weight room, but I was also the chubby kid. Never seen an ab muscle. Well, 18, graduate, football stops. I needed a void to fill, and that void turned out to be bodybuilding. I had met someone that was into it and trained with him literally every day of the year except for when a hurricane came. And I trained like a bodybuilder, took all the supplements, but I was still a 20-something. And I was drinking beer and eating fast food. Fast forward to my late 20s, and a gentleman about twice my age but looks way better than me comes up to me, and he's like, you ever thought about bodybuilding? I was like, man, it's funny because I've been thinking about it for 10 years. And he's like, well, if you lost all that body fat, you'd be good because you got no lagging muscle groups. You got good balance, good symmetry. You should give it a shot. And it was really that stranger seeing that in me to send me home going, you know what? The only thing that's been constant in my life is fitness, is the weight room. So let's go ahead and pour all of our efforts into that. And even though I broke this arm, the humerus bone, clean in half arm wrestling shortly before deciding to take this journey, I rehabilitated it with 2.5 pound dumbbells all the way back up to what I was doing, and then started my prep. And in 11 weeks, I not only saw my abs for the first time, but I beat everyone at the first show that I did, and I beat everyone at the second show that I did, and I qualified for nationals three times. And it was the wake of that success that created the Iron Den's personal training studio that ultimately evolved into what we're doing today.
Did that feeling become like addicting? Because, I mean, me and Curt have talked about it before, like getting in shape, being able to see abs. It would just be like, oh man, like I want to do this more. Is that what pushed you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thing that I had missed the most, again, I was training like a bodybuilder. I had for 10 years. I was lifting weights. I was reading all the newest material. The only thing that was missing for me was nutrition. Mm-hmm. So once I started eating correctly, the changes were so fast because I was already doing all the other facets correct that you're right. Like that snowball rolled downhill way faster because you're seeing so much happen. And when you get to the single digits in body fat percentage, a lot of people don't understand how lean 9 or less percent is, but you're extremely lean. You can see from day to day, you can see changes in your physique. I mean,
yeah. Kurt's over here rolling up his sleeves and flexing over here.
No doubt. I see. Yeah. No, I'm about to have to get a pump because he's outsizing me here.
Just don't look at my.
You got the sweet sunburn from yesterday.
Sunburn. Farmer tan. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, your forearms are jacked.
Oh, man. I appreciate that.
I don't think I've ever seen I'm scared of your forearms. Like, I'm sweating over here. Like, if I was in wrestling, those forearms would do some damage to my face.
It's funny because that's literally the only thing I still kind of regularly work out. Once I retired from bodybuilding, I picked up jiu-jitsu, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now. And the grip strength's really the only thing that I'm riding the coattails of years of bodybuilding here, and it's at 37. It's starting to whittle away.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple things. Okay, the first thing I wanted to touch on, you said that nutrition was the one thing that was missing. What's harder to get people to start if they're not doing anything? Is it to commit to coming to the gym or commit to getting their nutrition right?
So here's the deal, man, and I'm glad you asked that. So you can have the best equipment in the world and not use it, right? In fact, most gyms across the world, there's maybe 20% of their actual membership that uses it regularly. Mm-hmm. So yet there's 60% of the population's obese, right? So it's not the best equipment in the world. And then you can be given the best meal plan to follow and not adhere to it, right? It really comes down to application and what you do to motivate people to do this, right? Like, you got to understand, unless you're the Rock Dwayne Johnson, we're human beings that run off of a finite energy source known as willpower or motivation. And even the Rock's got lows, but if you don't have an answer for when your motivation is low, that's where the solution has to be found. It's not that diet and exercise is a secret, right? It's the application and finding a way to make sure that you're accountable to that. And that's why once I hired a coach and I had someone to check in on, that check in on me, that was the difference maker right there.
The person who is going to be able to help get you motivated, stay on track, keep you accountable?
Exactly. You think about it. From the time that you're born, you're held accountable by your parents, your grandparents, your school teachers, your principal. You graduate, it's the police and the law, right? Mm-hmm. We're held accountable by our bosses, our employee, our staff,
our guardies.
Yes. Yet we're responsible held responsible for all of this, and even The Rock has a coach. He has someone to report to, but we have all this accountability for all these facets of our life. Yet the one that I'm here to argue might be one of the most important, second to faith, right? Is your health, your nutrition. And we have no accountability system. We're just supposed to fly by the seat of our pants here and just, we'll get it right.
Right.
No, man, get something, someone, some entity to hold you accountable. I don't care if it's an app, as long as it makes you do it. People want to haze on CrossFit and stuff, and I would joke and play with them. But at the same time, like, it was responsible for getting a lot of people off the couch. It gamified fitness, and it did it very quickly. I'm all for it. You find something that holds you accountable and you're going to stick to it. And that's with any facet of your life.
Yeah. So you were talking earlier as well about body fat percentage. Like, people don't realize how the single digits, how low that is and how lean you are. A lot of the times I think people miscalculate, whenever they're, hey, I'm going to try and eat, 1,600 calories today. Using like MyFitnessPal, like, I'm just gonna, that's about 250 calories. Really, it's like 600. It's just miscalculating. How can you find a fix for that?
The problem is you can't. You got to have someone else. There's got to be that degree of separation, right?
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, I just had 2 bites. Whatever you pacify yourself to make you feel better about that immediately. We're not set up for that long-term gratification. But if you have someone that's responsible for that for you, you can overcome that.
That's true. I like that as well, because I would be that way. Like, is this like a large apple? Nah, it's a small one. You know what I mean? Or so, and then you're just like, I'm trying to eat 1,600 or whatever your needs are. I'm trying to eat this. I can have a powdered donut or whatever it is,
Yep. Yeah, no, you got to have someone to report to. You got to have an accountability system. Absolutely.
Where did the name the Iron Den come from?
Man, that's it sounded good.
It does sound good, yeah.
It kind of conveys, like, don't get me wrong. You're out in a social environment, you're hanging out, and people start talking about working out because everyone wants to talk about it, but only 17% of the population actually has a membership somewhere, which is weird. But you start talking about working out, and someone that does have a membership is like, I work out at 24-hour fitness. And you're like, where? I've been training at the Iron Den. Like, it just feels different, right?
It does.
I wanted something that even saying it kind of instilled a little bit of
Kurt, I was gonna say, Kurt, hit the background music. The guy with the hammer, like beating some steel or something, and like the fireworks and sparks in the background.
Yeah. Him being here makes me.
Done.
I feel like if I was working out at the same gym as this guy. I'm ripped as well.
It's like a video game. You
like
get plus 10, I don't know, genetics or something like that. Right?
Yeah, I got the aura.
Yeah.
It's throughout. Yeah, and everyone with me is getting the. I'm a nerd too, but it's a secret. But everyone knows.
There's this machine that I absolutely loved. It was at my high school gym, and it was a squeezer. Like, you would squeeze. They had you could set like a plate or something on it, and then you would sit there and squeeze it, and it was a forearm work.
You are pretty proud of your forearms, because we used to have a different camera set up, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but he would always just be like, I'm like, Kurt, are you staring at your forearm again, like in the camera shot? And he was like, yeah.
But he's got better forearms than I do, and I feel kind of jealous by him.
Oh, yeah, no.
Is that bad to say? Like, this sounds weird, but no.
We used to have a friend that would, from time to time, actually look at his forearms and, I guess check in to see how he's doing. And
I love the veins on the outside of my forearms. I just think they're awesome. I don't know.
There was a call that me and now my wife would do. It's like a caw every time he would look down at his forearm.
Calling him out. And he's just like, oh man, I guess I was doing that.
For a long time, he didn't even know why we were making bird noises.
Then he figured it out eventually. Hey, we're talking to Billy Jones. He's the owner and founder of the Iron Den in League City. Right now it's 10:19. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Feel free to share this out if you're watching on Facebook, or if you're listening on the KHEA radio app. Thank you. Feel free to text us if you have any questions. 346-704-1806.
Yeah, go download the KHEA radio app. The best part about the KHEA radio app is you can listen from anywhere in the world. You can actually turn it on and then jump around on your phone. Like, you could be on Facebook scrolling and still listening. You could be
at the gym, at the
Iron Den listening in. So go and download the KHEA radio app. And the best part is we have an option on there where you can get some prizes, some special discounts, and so that's in our current coupon section. Just search for KHEA Radio in the App Store and the Google Play Store, and you have that opportunity.
So I want to mention the Iron Den. I saw y'all on social media. I started seeing some posts pop up on my feed, and I thought it was really amazing, interesting, and intriguing. And I said, I gotta talk to the owner. I want to talk to him and figure out, one, why he decided to do it this way, and how many people have you seen change? So there's these videos. Can you share, I guess, what those, there's a couple that I've seen where you're like calling out guys. Can you share about that and where that idea came from?
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're talking about the challenge that we got going on. Yeah, so basically knowing that you have to have all three components to be successful, sustain a healthy life. We're talking about a fitness component, a nutrition component, and that accountability that we were talking about earlier. I wanted to take the regular person. I mean, most people, like I said, 60% of the population have some weight. They're actually classified as obese. So I wanted to take not a competitor, not an athlete, but a somewhat normal individual and put them through these same three principles and do it to where it's streamlined, to where despite, working shift work or being a father of, how many children, I've got one and that's enough right now. Despite having a life, like we can streamline the three things that are necessary for you to achieve success and then put them through this intensive 6-week program and see what happens to their body. And time after time again, as long as they dedicate themselves to these principles, the results are phenomenal.
The craziest thing about that is y'all were offering that for free. You said, hey, I got these spots. If you, honor the 1, 2, 3, if you do exactly what you're told and you're going to commit, hey, we'll do it for free.
Yeah, so here's the deal with that. Okay, one of the things people are lacking, the main thing, let's face it, is motivation, the willpower to do it. So you have to have a strong call to action to get people in the front door and show them what you're capable of. Do we have something for you for free? Absolutely. Everyone leaves with something absolutely for free. They have the ability to install other amenities for a paid option that we ultimately give them for free once they've completed the challenge. Once they've said, okay, I'm going to do the classes, I'm going to stick to the food, I am sticking to this program, we actually refund them that plus another $100 on top of that for their commitment and to continue working together, because you're not going to win the game of fitness in 6 weeks. It's really a facet of everyone's life that needs to be installed, and as long as they want to stay healthy, and we aim to be that people, those people for the League City area, and it's engineered for that.
How many people have come in and you've seen them change their life, like a lifestyle was born that wasn't there before?
Well, I'm a testament right here. So, my whole 20s, it was like, what am I going to do? I was, it took me better part of a decade to get a 2-year degree in instrumentation. But again, once I figured out that the thing that stayed consistent the whole time was the weight room, and I established those principles to achieve success with my own body, it really had a ripple effect. And it's that same algorithm that I use for my business, for relationships, for really any goal that I want to tackle, right? So I am projecting that out every time someone comes into a consultation and sits down with me. And a lot of times the same thing happens. So you get someone that drops 35 pounds in 6 weeks. The cool thing that it does, despite lowering the blood pressure and C-reactive proteins and all types of cool things, insulin sensitivity comes back. The main thing it does, the most important thing it does, is it knocks down the limiting beliefs that this individual may have had with themselves, trying to accept this as either the new norm or because of X, Y, and Z, I am this way. Now it's taken that and it's evaporated it. So the rest of their life is on pace to do some really amazing things. And people tend to come in to do these big things after something crazy's happened. A loved one's passed away from a health-related illness that could have been avoided, like type 2 diabetes or heart attack, or they're getting married. There's really been some cool stories that have come through. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, sometimes people go through breakups, which happens, in life, and then after they're like, hey, I need to make a change. And that is sometimes that motivation people need. But
last week I sat down with 3 different people that were going through or recently had a divorce. 3 in 1 week. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I lost 40 pounds.
But you were probably solid muscle. Did you really want to lose 40 pounds of solid muscle at that point in your life?
I was not solid muscle.
Oh, okay, sorry. It was misconception.
The forearms are so deceiving.
Yeah, I can't tell through that shirt. It looked like it was just this with the flex. It's about to bust open. Just muscles.
Yeah.
So
Ironed in. Boom, boom, boom.
Who are the people that are coming to the gym? Like, is it everyday Joes now, or is it the guys who are still building? Is there ladies there? Like who? Like a variety of people. Like where are they coming from in walks of life?
Yeah, good question. So, it's crazy to see the transition, but maybe it's because I'm closer to 40 now than 30. But the average age, I would say, is probably right now about 39, 40 years old in there. And believe it or not, it's about 55, 60% ladies. And it's really anyone and everyone. So we engineer our workouts. One of the things that we've shifted to recently is this accountability system that we can afford to provide to every member of the gym. So our whole model has changed, and it's brought in a broad spectrum of clientele and members. But average Joe, I mean, you talk about people that have had something recently serious happen that scared them to get in shape. They're gone through a major life change, maybe a divorce, or lost a loved one, something like that. And these things tend to happen later in life, or kind of organically, right? So it's definitely middle-aged average Joe coming in here, really taking an opportunity to work with experts in the field.
Where are y'all located?
So another crazy thing is last week I closed on funding to build my own place from the ground up. Currently, we're on the corner of Highway 3 and 96. There's a street called Dakota. It's the last street you can take a ride on if you're coming from 45 before you get to Highway 3. We've been there 7 years. But I have a piece of land that I'm developing on 270.
At 646. I think I've seen your sign right there, right?
Right in between 96 and 646. And the building process has already begun. Weather permitting, we'll be in there at the end of this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long has that been in the works? I mean, because I drive by. I live on, right down the street. If you keep going on 646, I live over South Shore, area over there.
Yeah.
But I drive by and I see those for sale signs, and I've just seen the development happen. I'm just like, man, I bet this property is just starting to go boom, boom. It's great location, and they're
really
starting
is.
to build awesome stuff there.
Are we gonna? Yeah. Is that gonna be our new thing now? It's the boom, boom, boom,
I think
boom. Well, it might just have to be.
You started it, Kurt.
I'm sorry. Well, the Iron Den started it. I just continued it.
Yeah.
We'll live on.
Can you imagine? Okay, just throwing this out there, putting this out into the universe. Okay. Every day we start with, and this segment is brought to you by the Iron Den. Boom, boom. That'd be great. It would get me pumped. It would get me so excited every single day.
I feel like you'd have to throw away the donuts. You'd have to start it with an apple. I don't know. We need to ask it. What should people be eating? Like, if you're trying to focus on fitness, maybe you're working out already, doing something, but you're missing out on that nutritional. Like, you're eating, powdered donuts and cheeseburgers, pizza all the time.
Yeah.
What should people be doing?
Again, the reality is they know, right? Like you just said, the apple instead of the banana or the donut, rather. It's not a secret. It's adherence. It's consistency. It's the emotional cycle of change, right? Like the things that you feel going through something new, and it's textbook. It's psychology. It's going to happen 100% of the time. If you're cognizant of that, and you can be aware that you're just entering in that informed pessimistic stage and then the valley of death where it just sucks, you'll know that undoubtedly it's just science that ahead of that is informed optimism, right? You're going to start getting it. You're going to start understanding. Eating that apple instead of the donut every day is going to start to pay off in dividends in the waistline. Once you see that proof of concepts there, the limiting beliefs go down, you eat the right stuff.
Yeah.
I could list off a whole slew of things for people to eat. It's not going to change their lives right now. They need the accountability. They need the adherence. They need a plan to stick to. Yeah,
I've noticed there's macros. Macros now, which I didn't really understand, and I still honestly don't. But they're like, okay, everybody needs to eat, this, fat, carbs, and whatever else there is, right? And until recently, for the past 4 years, I would go to the gym every day. I work out at one of the local places not too far from my house, and I would see limited results because I don't think I would try and eat what was right for the most part, but I just didn't know. And that's the one thing I was like, I wonder if I should try figuring out what my macros are. Am I not getting enough protein, carbs and stuff like that? But then it was so discouraging. And then after we did our last 21-day detox with Dr. Chapa, I saw quite a bit of loss of strength because we do vegetables and water for 10 days, and 11 through 21, you add protein one time a day back in your diet. And after that, I was just like, man, I struggled to get back into the gym. And so I'd go a couple times, and I'm just like, man, I feel weak. I'm not seeing the results that I wish I could see. Like, what am I doing wrong? And just I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
From there.
The beautiful thing about bodybuilding is you fail every day. You literally go to failure on most of your reps or sets, rather, in every workout that you do, and you work out every day. So you're used to failing. That's one of the sweetest disciplines I've gotten from that sport. The average person is not set up that way. They feel weak and they're failing and they think this is wrong. No, that's you need someone to tell you this is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
This is the part that sucks that you're going to get better at. The other thing is, if you don't have that component, like if you don't have, that's why we have 3: fitness, nutrition, and accountability. That fitness component, particularly something that's going to make your muscles work, weight resistance, and I use a very broad brush when I say this. I don't mean, the orthodox bicep curl and bench press. While you can do those are okay. I mean anything from pushing a sled, lifting ropes and tires and stuff like that, making it fun. But it has to produce stress on the muscles, because you want to create something that either it makes your body more demanding for energy, right? It raises your basal metabolic rate, keeps you functional, keeps you fit, right? Otherwise, if you're just relying on nutrition, when you get off of this nutrition modality, you're effectively going to do it when your metabolism is as weak as it's been and who knows how long, so the pendulum swings way the other direction, unless you've done some weight resistance training in the background to couple that with it. It sets you up for success after you get off of this diet, whatever that is, right?
You mentioned about pushing the sled and the ropes and some other stuff. We went and trained at the end of last year, and you probably know Jonathan at the Sanctuary Gym. They're out in Friendswood now.
Yeah.
I know he's competed, and Cassidy has, as well, and they have a really nice facility over there.
Yeah.
So we went one day and did a workout, and they've been trying to get us back in there to do some more stuff. But we went and ate Mexican food right before. We didn't know.
Oh.
We didn't know what kind of workout we were going to do. It was, we're supposed to be there at 3. We went at 1 o'clock to Abuelo's in Leak City. It turned into like hey, it's 2:30. Like, oh my gosh, we have to go. I don't know why and how we were there so long, but we were.
Man.
And so we went, and the first thing they did is like put weight on the sled. Put weight on the sled. And they're like, all right, here we go. Start pushing it back and forth, and then
I know for a fact, because of that situation, I haven't worked out like I used to. Like, I know for a fact that ruined working out for me, because I never want to have that experience where I literally felt like I was gonna like hurl on everything.
Yeah, I train fasted for that reason. Like, especially back or leg day, you don't want anything. Your stomach's working too, you get free it all up for the body. Let the stomach rest.
Oh, my stomach was working. It was working like to release some stuff.
Does that mean you're getting a good workout though? That feeling?
Probably not. I mean, probably like you're fighting back indigestion from a burrito while you're pushing a sled. Man,
it wasn't indigestion I was fighting back.
You want to streamline, like it takes up your bandwidth when you're eating a big meal and you're digesting a big meal. It takes up the bandwidth required to perform at your optimal level. So you definitely want to do some proper nutrient timing in that regard.
So you said you work out fasted. What does that mean?
So, like typically in competitive bodybuilding, especially at the level that I was getting to, I'd be in the off season maybe 15% body fat, 280 pounds, and I'm trying to get to 300 pounds because I'm about to jump up a weight class. I would be eating literally all day, like a farm animal. So when I retired, I just organically started doing what everyone's doing now, is intermittent fasting. I've been doing that for years because it was so easy to say, oh, I don't have to eat a dozen eggs and 2 cups of oats. I'm good. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna drink this coffee, and now maybe it's because I'm older or just busier. I have to get the training done before 1 p.m. or it doesn't it doesn't happen, and I feel better that way. I haven't eaten a meal yet, so I'll train and then it's first meal after that. But when I train in that fasted state, despite all the bro science that you're going to need all these carbs to get a pump and all this, man, I actually get a really good pump. I can perform well. My cognition's all there. It's all lifting. Nothing hurts my gut. I don't feel like I'm gonna lose a burrito or something because I'm pushing a sled. It's the way I like it now.
So right now it's 10:34. It's KHEA Radio. We're talking to
brought to you by the Iron Den. Bum, bum,
and we got Billy Jones in studio, who's the owner. For the past 7 years, they've been in Leak City, and they're going to be moving. The plan is, later this year, building that new facility.
Yeah.
How long was that in the works?
3 years, man. 3 years. I was looking at a report that had that date on it, and I was like, oh, as long as my son's been on this planet, about half the time that we've been in business, really. But nothing worth having is easy, and
Right.
perseverance and all that stuff. More disciplines learned from bodybuilding. It's all going to pay off. Being right there on 270, it gives us the opportunity to be seen. We've been, like I said, we've been 7 years, and I still have people come in saying, "Man, I never knew you guys were here." So that won't happen on 270. At least not as near as often, right?
Yeah, because you're tucked a little bit behind.
Definitely. In fact, there's no one drives. It's a dead end street. If you did the data on how many cars drive down that every year or whatever the time frame is, it would be single digits. But where we're going, it's 10,000-12,000 cars, I believe, every day. That's the umbilical cord from League City to Dickinson, and vice versa. So, really puts us on the map, literally. And I think a lot of people are probably afraid of the Iron Den. Just the name of it instills fear in some. They're intimidated. They don't want to be judged. But once they get inside the place, they realize that it's just a motivating environment where everyone's trying to get better. It's tough. It's tough for people to break down that barrier, and we've been fighting that stigma for a long time. It's one of the reasons why we kind of ditched hardcore, because it's terrifying, right? But when you're on a street that everyone drives by probably 2 or 3 times, picking their kids up from school, getting groceries, coming home from work, in a brand new building, and you're getting to see people in there, it'll lower those inhibitions, those barriers to come in and actually see what we're all about. I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
Yeah, Kurt. You've been humming music for the majority of this interview. What would it take to get you motivated to start working out this year?
Nothing. I'm not working out.
You can't. Why?
There's nothing. You need to stop on this because it's not going to happen.
Well,
I'm sorry.
and I guess that may be true.
No willpower.
You have to find motivation and willpower yourself and a reason why. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. For some people, the catalyst is necessity, right? Like you don't want to get on metformin, type 2 diabetes medication, or you don't want that blood pressure getting any higher because you got a loved one that's already in that situation. There's other motivators out there. It's my job to get people before that happens, but we've even had people that have had some serious health issues that they've come back from. But yeah, motivation comes in all different ways. It can come from when you're younger, maybe having a date.
Yeah.
Or just getting your health in check to avoid some serious consequences.
All right now it's 10:38. We're gonna take a quick break on the FM. Keep it going on Facebook. This is KHEA Radio. Do you know I do.
Abundant Life Christian School. Hey,
There's so many
have
ALCS
camp
things going on.
starting. What next
week?
Next week.
Yeah.
Right.
You want a big one or small one?
Oh man, you know me.
Need a big one. Man, that coffee is kicking it today.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good coffee.
Yeah, it's strong.
Cool. I guess one of the coolest things is that you can take those elements of bodybuilding and working out and use those still for someone who's not necessarily a bodybuilder, and that's something I guess I've never really thought of before. But
That goes into the GoPro
this one does. Okay.
on the other side.
No, you take a bodybuilder, they're pretty much like the F1 drivers of fitness. I'm not saying the pro sport is all healthy, but you have to understand they're on the front lines experimenting with food, nutrition, supplementation at a high level. There's really not even data collected. This is a lot of the stuff's figured out first by bodybuilders, how nutrient timing and what supplements to take and all that stuff. So, it's almost like if you had 2 options, if you had your driver's ed, just Bob's driver's ed, it's been there however long, and you want to teach someone how to drive a car optimally, but down the road, just as convenient, there's Mario Andretti's School of Driving, and it virtually the same expense. It's, you either get taught by a professional or just so bodybuilders have kind of taken everything that they've learned, and at least I have, and able to compress it down into the things that the 80-20 rule, like the 20% of the work that's actually going to get 80% of the results. Lay that out And of course, that applies to everyone. Building the body applies to everyone. You don't have to be a competitive athlete to take advantage of a lot of the principles that have been discovered just through high competitive bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with technologies and racing, right? The stuff they learn on those streets ultimately get disseminated down into, commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, so how long does it take to get to be a bodybuilder?
So there's a lot of moving parts there. Variables like genetics. Genetics play a huge role. I mean, let's face it, there's people that are 6'10" and there's people that are 4'11". One of them are playing basketball. The other one's going to have a tough time, right? Bodybuilding's similar, okay? So there's a certain amount of muscle cells, a certain amount of fat cells people are born with. There's different frames. There's even geometry plays a role. So how your bones are inserted in the particular joints, how wide your clavicles are. There's a lot of anatomy involved that you have no control over. And then your propensity to gain muscle is relative to androgen receptors and muscle bellies. And there's so many things that you don't have control over. But, I mean, ask the question again.
How long does it take?
I don't think anybody can do it. It would be different for different people, I suppose.
It depends on what your goal is. For me, I wanted to attain a pro card for so long. I had 3 strong years at it. Couldn't nail the stage. I always spilled. But then, Father Time caught up with me and things changed. But I think genetically, it would have taken me a little bit longer. But that was my goal. There's people that just want to see what they're capable of, and that's bodybuilding, right? Like, you don't have to be a competitive bodybuilder to bodybuild. And if you do compete, there's plenty of smaller local shows. It's hard to say. Like Phil Heath, he went from basketball player in college to, I believe, already winning a pro show in bodybuilding in less than 4 years, if I remember correctly.
I saw it was like on Instagram bodybuilding. They had shared a photo of him, like it said Denver. Maybe he played college ball, I don't know where, but it was him there, and I was like, that is him. Yeah. But you can always, he has a baggy uniform on because of the times, the era it was. But then he's like massive over there holding the trophy up.
Right. And there's that 3-year that's been thrown out there. I want to say one of my trainers, Charles Glass, he's probably the best personal trainer on the planet. He trained all the top pros over the years. He's out in Venice, Gold's Gym in Venice. But I believe it was him that stated that it's roughly about 3 years. It takes about 3 years to reach your genetic limit, whatever that is.
Yeah, and everybody has a different genetic ceiling?
Yeah, everybody's different. And then you look at someone like Ronnie Coleman, it took him 12, 15 years. If you talk about all of his lifting prior to that, it took him decades to reach his genetic prime. But everyone's different. It's hard to say.
I saw it's one of the guys who trained Ronnie Coleman. He has a 12-year-old son, and I follow him on Instagram. And this kid is, talking about genetics. He's a freak, and the trainer, he married someone else who competed, who's won, at the highest level. And they have a couple sons, and that kid's 12 years old, throwing up 275, like on bench a couple times. And he's just, you follow him, he has thousands of followers, but it's impressive. Like, he's a kid, but he, has good training. I'm sure he has a great nutrition, and he also has genetics, working for him. So he's going to be doing some really cool things, I assume.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you have to be very realistic on what's possible with your genetics, and these things take time. I started lifting in the 5th grade, years and years of lifting, but you don't want to. We're not set up for that long-term gratification. We want it quick. Like, I can get crepes delivered to my house in 35 flat, right?
Yeah, I actually have tacos coming in any second now. No, just kidding, but we've had that happen before.
We want it now. Amazon's going to be using drones to drop stuff 5 minutes after you order it.
Tacos in my mouth, in between like words. Just
I was really sad earlier because Jennifer Lopez Fuller was like, lose the taco. If I wanted to get healthy, I needed to lose the taco. And I thought we were friends. I thought Jennifer and I were friends. But after that statement, I don't know if we're friends anymore.
She's just
like, how dare you attack my tacos?
She was just giving a suggestion.
She's just looking at
How dare you? You can't ever get rid of tacos. Like, tacos is life.
Yeah. Texas tacos. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It is Taco Tuesday. I posted something earlier. Just that 3-day weekend got us to time travel to Taco Tuesday a little bit quicker. I think that's the whole. That was kind of what I took from that.
Yeah.
Woke up this morning. I'm like, it's Taco Tuesday.
You know what never disappoints you and what never makes you feel sad?
Is it tacos?
Tacos.
A good taco. Yeah.
I know. It's not the gym. It's not working out. It's not feeling great. It's tacos.
I think it depends, right?
You can get both.
People get that feeling from the gym, right?
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, it's just biochemistry, man. It's inevitable. You get the runner's high. It's real. It's same with lifting weights, getting the pump. Arnold took it to the limit on what he said that felt like, but
Yeah, I saw Jennifer Fuller. She had made a post in I don't know if it was in the Food Lovers group or in her own personal page, but she had posted about making a change. You know what? And I'm going to do this for me, and I'm trying to see about if you want to follow my progress. And I talked to her a little bit, and she said she did some of that to kind of hold herself accountable.
Yeah.
Then she's like, hey. Some people are going to be excited for me, cheer me on. Some people are going to be like, hey, I'm going to watch because she's not going to do that. You know, like either way, they're watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty cool, So I'm excited to watch on that journey. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'm down to help in any way possible, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually know her through the gym. I think it was in the late 90s when I met her at Bally's. Used to be Bally's. But you're absolutely right, like making that announcement. It's like it's there, it's out there. This is what I'm doing. That commitment that helps tremendously. And then having a following of people that are looking forward to your success. For me, I'm almost engineered the other way. If someone says I can't do it, because I was in the same, like I was easily 35% body fat when a guy asked me if I thought about bodybuilding. I was tubby, It was people that didn't think I could get. I'd never seen an ab muscle, much less get down to that 5% or whatever, on stage. So there's plenty of people saying, you're just there's no way you're going to commit to it. There's no way you're going to do it.
Yeah, that's
what fueled me initially. Maybe I'm just a pessimistic person.
Do you still have the abs?
No. What I have now is literally riding off the coattails of 4 years ago. I haven't regularly lifted or eaten properly for any length of time pretty much since then. It was almost like I'd done that for so long that it just
stays that big?
It's fading quickly, yeah. But
4 years isn't quick. You look jacked.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is me at 240 pounds. I used to be 40 pounds heavier and leaner. So
280?
So you mentioned something.
275, yeah, with maybe 15%, where now I'm probably 20% at 240, 245. It's a huge difference. We have a scale that measures all this at the gym. It's the InBody scale. It tells you what your composition is.
Yeah.
And last year at this time, I was 9 pounds of muscle heavier, and I was 7% body fat less.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I was like, I got to hold myself accountable.
Did you say 60% of the population is about obese?
Yes.
And that's in the United States or our area?
United States.
Okay.
In our area, I think it's actually higher.
What's considered obese? Like, is that a body fat percentage? Like you said, you started before bodybuilding, 35%, or how do you look at that?
No, I believe what they're going off of is body mass index, the BMI, which is, if I'm being honest, it's not accurate, right? Like, even when I was in my healthiest, composition wise, 225 pounds at 9-10%, whatever, I would get on one of the scales. They had one at the mall in front of GNC where it tell you what your BMI, and they would spit out a receipt. Mm-hmm. I did that, and the receipt came out on flames. It was like, you're instantly gonna perish here. You're morbidly obese.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I can see my abs. What's going on here? So that's obviously not the best indicator. But I mean, look around. Go anywhere.
Right.
Even what's sad is the schools, right? Like you see, you used to be made fun of if you were the chubby kid. I remember those days. Now it's like, how are you gonna do that when everyone is? Like. It's 60% is probably being Maz. Like, it's at least that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not. Why are you guys looking at me? I'm not obese.
No one said that. You're obese is what we were saying. You're obese. That's better.
Yeah.
Man,
obese.
Man, he's got a new like.
The T is silent. Obese.
God, I'm about to go beast mode on this desk. come over there.
Uh-oh.
You and Jennifer Lopez Fuller are on my negative list right now.
Please
Talking
don't.
about getting rid of tacos.
She's not the one to mess with.
Oh yeah, no, I would never get on her bad side.
Yeah, she's
But
awesome.
get on my
She
bad
is.
side, apparently.
Yeah, I've seen her post some pictures before, and she was like, "This is whenever I was lifting weights." It was like her back. I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah,
she was
no,
jacked.
yes, that's how we met. You know, she was very into it and looked amazing. She still looks great, but just solid individual. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's cool. I don't know how she's gonna see all those pictures of delicious food, and I mean, it's just willpower. I know she can do it, but I mean, it's just gonna be a.
Because that's where we
gonna
go,
be fun.
you know, when we're like, all right, what are we going to eat? What do we eat today? We go to that group.
Food lovers.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
I feel
You
ya.
need to join the Talk of Taco group too.
uh-oh.
Are you big on tacos or Mexican food, or are you kind of
No, yeah, and I know where the best places. There's two.
where?
So, La India Bonita, okay, that's
Okay, yeah.
That's League City's one of League City's best kept secrets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I just got familiar with kind of recently, Chalupa Taqueria on Highway 3 near Nassau Road 1.
Haven't been to that one.
Oh, bro. Dude, yes.
What'd you get from there?
Get the street tacos, man. Yeah, pastor. And then they give you a side. They say it's charro beans, but it's like a stew. It's got, and you dip the taco in it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's genuine, authentic.
Lupe Tortilla, theirs is kind of like a stew whenever they bring the beans out, like with the chips. So I'm feeling that.
No, it blows that out the water.
Oh, man. So we got 10 seconds. We're going to go back on the FM right now. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now it's 10:52. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. We're talking to Billy, the owner and founder of the Iron Den. So we have about 7 minutes left, and we're going to just keep talking about everything about fitness and the gym there.
Gardy, if we're going to get sponsored by the Iron Den and I have to do that every day, I'm going to have to find some ways to like vocally train myself because or we need to record it and put it in as a ramp, you know, or something because it's starting to hurt my throat.
Automation.
Kurt, we can't have you be the face of anything. Like promote. How can you promote anything that you don't do? You can't do that. How about
do what? Do what?
Just say it. Like you're just talking. Like I'm just trying to process this.
I can't be the Don
No.
because I'm fat.
Yes. I feel like it doesn't embody. Think about you, Kurt. Like, what's your ideal weight? Like muscle, fitness level. Like, what do you have one or?
An ideal weight?
Not even necessarily weight, but like fitness level. I suppose.
I thought we were going to talk about food because I love food.
There we go.
Okay.
No. So, okay, the Iron Den. Can you let everybody know where is it located one more time?
Yeah, we're at the corner of Highway 3 and 96. We're on Dakota Street. It's the last street you'll get to if you're coming from 45 going towards Highway 3. You'll take a right.
And then on social media, how can they find you?
Oh, man. So website's theironDenGym.com, and then Iron Den Gym, League City, search Iron Den and Instagram. Instagram's going to give you a good look at what we're doing lately. Our website needs to be updated, but Facebook, Instagram, all the socials, yeah.
Are you originally from this area?
Pretty much, yeah. So moved to Friendswood just as soon as I started grade school. Graduated from Clearbrook High School. Yeah, I've been around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, I know Jennifer Fuller. I don't know how, but she knows everybody.
Yeah.
She knows
Everybody.
everyone. Yeah, she's like, oh, I went to school with that person, or like, me and him used, whatever, like worked out together. Then it's pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because she's helped us meet a lot of people. Because I know I had wanted to meet you after I saw those spots that y'all were running, and I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And so she was like, hey, I'll send him a message. I said, thank you, Jennifer. So you're awesome. So make sure you check out her group as well, Bay Area Houston Food Lovers on Facebook. I know she has a website and a whole bunch of other stuff planned for this year, and I'm excited to watch her journey as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited to continue to talk to you and learn more about the gym and everything that it offers. We're gonna have to go and come visit it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
Are you
the
gonna
grand
make us-
opening.
Are you gonna make us throw up if we go?
If you eat burritos and stuff before you work out with us, yes, you're Ralphing. There's no doubt about it.
How does the schedule look? Because I saw that yesterday Jake was there working out.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it a certain hours you're open? How does it work?
Good question. So we're a 24-hour access facility that does group training, personal training, semi-private personal training, nutrition. We're more of a training facility than just a kind of do-it-yourself gym. There are people that have been around many years, Jake being one of them, that simply have that do-it-yourself access. But that's what he's doing, yeah.
Okay, cool. So like him, he can go work out on holiday
Any
and like
day,
other stuff.
yeah.
And so I guess after people have been working there for a bit, or you know them, then they get that different level of access. Is that how that works?
Actually, right now we currently we're in a transitional phase where we're moving to the new facility, and just to keep overcrowding and hitting capacity and bothering, parking on 6:30 on a Monday evening gets a little tricky, but we have that whole street you can park up and down of. But if I was to entertain the idea of just kind of come in, do it yourself membership, it would probably it would be good.
Yeah, I got you.
So for right now, we're more of a training facility. That being said, especially for the summer, we are offering some of your more standard access.
Cool. Hey, Kim, who's watching on our Facebook stream, said those arms, though, exclamation point. So, if you're looking to get some arms like Billy, maybe the Iron Gym is the place for you.
Oh, man. I would have done some curls.
I didn't know the camera was right there.
Yeah, I didn't know the camera was in.
Yeah, and if you want your husband to maybe get some arms like Billy, then maybe the Iron Den is the place for him as well. So, we're about out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to share here this morning?
Oh, man, how grateful I am to be here, man. It's been an honor. I thank you guys for letting me come out and talk at you, and hearing from you guys, too. I really appreciate it.
Cool. So it's 10:57. Let's see. What do we got going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to have tacos in at 10 o'clock. Taqueria El Taquito. Is that correct? Did I say it correctly?
Yeah, they're in San Leon.
They're in San Leon. They're a food truck, and they're going to be coming in talking about everything that they have. We actually checked out their place, a couple months ago for our segment, Talk of Taco. So we're super excited to sit down and go over everything that they're doing, and maybe they'll bring in some tacos.
Good family.
Great family.
Yeah, very,
tacos,
very cool.
He said, sometimes we don't have electricity at home, but we still do our tacos. We still have the taco trucks. You know why?
We need to go back and watch the quote, because that's...
I think that's what it was. We're close to it. And he
quite.
goes, because tacos is life. And I was like, yeah.
I can attest.
All right. We'll make sure that you stay tuned in for the rest of the day. We're going to have some awesome music in. Maybe we can trick Ethan to come in and do some afternoon drive stuff. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. This has been Kickstart. Hey, we have Dr. Choppa in earlier. He's in every Tuesday. So make sure you tune back in next Tuesday if you missed that, or you can go back and watch on Facebook as well.
Yeah, make sure you go download the KHEA radio app. It's the best. It's in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store.
Coming up next is Building 429. Fear no more on KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM.
Dang, I love those songs. All right, Facebook, we love you. We'll
Adios.
see you tomorrow morning, 8:30-ish.